extra ethereal space.
Okay, so we are back for Star Wars. It is episode 94, or season 7, episode 3. Currently 10 days into this season of the story. At the table today we have Rhiannon.
Hi. I play Min, the scrappy little engineer extraordinaire.
And Gadget Junkie, who will have more gadgets than everyone else very soon.
Oh yes, and needs some way of carrying it better.
I don't know, I'm pretty sure she's in competition with Carla.
Yeah, and I've got my minions as well.
Next up we have is Peter.
Greetings! I'm continuing to play the severely traumatized Sergeant Garm Von Jewel, human quartermaster of the Rebellion and semi-recent addition to the Mandalorian Clan.
And I'm sure I can up the trauma if you really need it to be severe.
It's going to happen.
I believe that's a yes, please, from Peter.
Next up is Ariadna.
Then a true striker. He's about to have her dice bumped off onto the floor by the cat, who is Darth Sidious, right? No, he plays a Sith, we just don't know which one.
All of them.
I am Talon of the Clan, new lightsaber owner, kind of experienced Force user.
Long-term evil wizard.
Long-term Mandalorian.
Evil space wizard.
I thought we had an agreement.
Space wizard, not evil space wizard.
I would kill the Inquisitor if you stopped calling me evil.
Our characters haven't had this conversation, but hypothetically, I have no problem with that agreement.
Which then brings us to online Ross.
Yes, I play Khaled, the gadgeteer, that has
Are they any good?
lots of gadgets and minions as well. I also am the cybernetist and enforcer, assassin, and droid specialist.
And you will note down. So you will note down you only have one cyber arm because you didn't need 2 cyber arms to have the brawn benefit.
No, you've got it on.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was wondering about that. If it's it's just that you can't have my other arm cannot be agility.
It also can't be any other form of cybernetic because it doesn't like to mix cybernetics.
Yeah, so if I did want to get a agility, it would have to be mid legs.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
also, I've got a new shiny arm.
and if you got a brawn in your legs, it wouldn't stack. So you can only have a cybernetic boost to a attribute once.
Oh, I have 4 types of grenades now.
Just so you're aware of why you wouldn't want to get the brawn ones.
Honestly, I don't think I would like the idea of getting cybernetic legs, because if I get hit with a anti-droid gun, I'll turn into basically a slug.
Oh, you mean I can hit you with my ionization blaster?
And his hand will stop working.
4 types of grenades now.
Another way of disarming
4
someone.
types of grenades.
Yeah, so I basically have to start getting it ionized, plated, or whatever, which I couldn't afford at the time.
So for a minute there, I thought you were going to end with ionized, and I was going, what, you want to get your own arm shocked?
Look, I'll help you out with that.
Up next we have is Kesley.
Hello, I play Kiana Capier, Mandalorian, martial artist, bodyguard person type thing. Recently awakened to the Force and has been studying technically under/alongside Thea, and just like, look, I know you were doing some crazy mystery things, but this is like, woof.
Let's put it this way: there are now 2 of us, right?
Ooh, 2 evil space
If there's
marines.
2, there will be more.
Yep, and also known as the Mandalorian Streaker.
So we'll see where that goes. But for now, Kyan's definitely very much on the. All right, we have a mission at hand. We need to focus up.
Okay, and lastly on tonight we have is Mike.
Hello, I play Boom Boom Crash, a Gungan pilot from the Panorama Mountain Westway of Naboo. 2.2 meters tall with a pink and purple mohawk.
And,
Yeah, that's me.
and it always helps. And who wants to do the how you who you are today?
I don't know. Now that Rhiannon's taking notes, I think it's between Kesley and Rhiannon.
I can do it.
I'm eating, so I'll let Rhiannon do it.
I was going to say, I like Kesley's rereading of the notes, so, I don't mind a joint venture.
If I miss anything or anyone wants to add anything, and just let me know. So our current objective is to steal an Imperial freighter from a secret convoy. We all have our personal objectives that we're getting to. I'm not going to read them out, that'll be too much. Recap, what did my recap? Alright, so we started out on a transit shuttle to the target ship. We had a reveal that Min is the new favourite of Khalid's dad because she is engineer. But most people don't know who she is because she's brand new. She was introduced to everybody. Broom Broom Crash being the famous racer who built his own starship. Garm is saluted by all young Mandalorians as he is up their punching bag. Kyana is a warning tale but is working her way back up. Thea is the secret most upper Mandalorians don't talk about but respect her. Khalid is the cybernetics traitor to Vulcan's legacy. And
A traitor.
I learned about Dom Diesel. So as we were approaching, we saw 2 Star Galleons at the front and the back of the convoy to stop boarding parties and mutinies. Lots of other ships. We had no problem getting on board. We were, thanks to Garm's charm checks, basically put in charge of making sure no unfortunates or undesirables were allowed on the ship, which was great because it meant we could control who got on the ship. I hacked it to make sure that if anybody was flagged, we could decide if we wanted them on board or not. Garm and Thea and Khalid helped each other out to do a charm check with everybody, which meant we got more friends. So we got 6 new people to be our friends and 1 best friend. Our new best friend is Jax, who's one of the bridge crew. We also made friends with the surgeon and 5 other bridge crew. They all basically... Garm has become the sergeant in charge of the night shift with a bit of a smile and a bit of quick talking, which makes our job a little easier. We're pretty much going to be in charge of the skeleton crew that runs the night shift, which is basically during the hyper jump. We've identified that we need to... Thea went looking for the detention area troopers. Everybody flagged perfectly. We didn't have access to the passenger list, but we got some information because of my hacking the system. about the captain and the exec. We found out that the captain and the lieutenant don't like each other. Mostly because the lieutenant was supposed to be the captain of the ship, but the captain had been demoted and this was his last chance, so she didn't get it. Garm got called up to the bridge to take over, which was great because it meant, and he took Boom Boom Crash and Min to the bridge with them, which was great because that means that Boom Boom Crash and Min got to spend all the time they wanted with the navigation computer and all sorts of things. While we were in the bridge doing our thing, I'm skipping over a lot of information that we don't really need. Thea came with us and then followed the captain to charm him. So Thea is now in charge of the captain's executive assistant and in charge of coffees. And she ended up calling Kayana down as his bodyguard. So because there was a whole heap of information there, that was great. So they're spending some time going through the information. Meanwhile, Khalid went to the security room, did some work there, ended up saying he was going to go do an inspection of the cargo crates, including the passenger, the cargo, and the detention sections. Got down to the first one, which was the passenger one. There was no one there. He managed to open the door. Or the door opened when he was trying to open it, and there was a shadowy black-robed figure who basically said, "These are not the cargo crates you're looking for." So Garm turned around and walked back and said, "Everything's fine."
No, it wasn't me.
No,
Khalid. Sorry.
If it was Garm, I'm sure there'd be more psychosis happening.
Yes.
Probably red, brown trousers as well.
So,
he would have forgotten.
And then wondered why his trousers were brown.
Yeah, I was going to say.
So it turns out that the captain is also working for... Who is it?
Thrawn.
Thrawn, that's right. Sorry, I was looking for the name. I was scanning through for the name. Working for Thrawn, which gave Thea an even better hook in. He's gone to have a bath and to fall asleep with the sleeping pills that Thea managed to nick from the medicine cabinet without being...
I didn't nick, I
appropriated.
And then appropriately put in his coffee because he's been working hard. He's under a lot of stress. He needs his rest.
He showed that the information that they had originally found was the wrong information and brought up the actual information he had. And it looks like he's going to become pirate and try and steal the freighter anyway. So we're vaguely tempted to let him do the thing and then take it from him. Back on the bridge, Brum and Min were looking at the consoles, found a couple of extra programs, one of which is the one that we identified the captain had to mine information every time he pinged another ship, and he's been constantly pinging other ships. And we also found a program that we know nothing about because it is encoded and we can't get access to it yet. So basically at this point we are set up with Garm on the bridge with Min and Brum Brum Crash. Min and Brum Brum Crash, we're going to spend the next 4 hours before Hyperjump focusing on trying to get into that program or learn something about the extra program that we don't know about. Because most of us don't know about the Inquisitor on board. Though Thea did a force check and found out that she felt when the force was used. Thea wanted to do a team check-in. Khalid is in the security office with Jax. And Kayana and Thea are in the captain's office trawling through information. Is that about it?
Yeah, that sounds about right. Have we done our roll yet?
No, yep. I thought we'd do the intro and then do the roll.
Okay, cool.
So you're going to roll 6 dice?
I'd need 2 more.
You want to try using my 2 to see if I can corrupt the rest of your dice?
I was just going to roll these 4, give you the numbers, and then roll two of these again.
I don't mind corrupting your dice with mine.
I'm fine. I'm not really corrupted, thank you. So I've got 5 white, 2 and 1, and 1 black.
So 5
And then
white,
roll 2 more dice.
1 black.
2 black. So that'll be 3 black altogether and 5 white.
Not a bad start to the thing.
The white side is ascendant.
Currently,
That's a great way of putting it, actually.
it only takes 1 point to make it even.
No. Yes.
It doesn't take too much.
And of course, nobody's mentioned that we've got a Inquisitor on board.
Well, no one knows it's an Inquisitor. Not even
Oh,
Thea.
there's a Force user on board.
She's felt someone use the Force on board.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean it's a person.
Yeah.
Don't you feel the dark side?
No. She's
Just
not
Force.
really had anyone use corrupted Force yet.
So this is the first time.
This is the first time she sensed anyone use the Force in her vicinity.
And know what I'm looking for. Because last time I was around Inquisitors, I had no idea of.
And the normal time that they pick up that they're Darksiders is if they're actually using the abusive corrupt magic.
Well, they were doing that to Khalid, weren't they?
Nope.
Nope.
They were using non-corrupt magic on Khalid.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Yeah.
You shall go home and rethink your life.
I can understand that. But again, we've got a Force user on board that you're aware of and you haven't told anyone.
Well,
she's
I
about to
haven't
do
had
the
chance. And I have told Kayana, I've said to Kayana, be aware.
Well, he's told someone.
There's a Force user. I can't tell you over comms.
Hey, Gum, there's evil space wizards on board.
If I tell you over comms,
Yeah, basically you
we
just
could
say
be
you felt a
alerting the evil
disturbance in the
space wizard
Force.
that we know.
And currently only
I don't want to hear excuses. I want to hear solutions.
only Brum Brum Crash currently has the encryption module, which allows him to encrypt comms with someone. Just currently not a party member. So if you want to be able to communicate openly with your compatriots, you'll need to invest in encryption modules each.
Yeah. How do we invest?
Or we just use code words.
Modules.
But the code words then are then broadcast in the open. You can pair comlinks with another comlink, but you basically need to get more expensive comlinks to do that.
So
Otherwise, it's like you can pair with Garm. Garm can then have a separate one paired with someone else, and in the end, he's running around with 5 comlinks.
So when you say we need to invest in encryption modules, you mean buy more expensive comlinks?
I know it's an actual plug-in for a comlink.
We'll do
So
that.
they're modules.
We'll do that next.
Next shopping trip?
Yeah.
Either that, or I'm going to keep a lookout for things that might have encryption modules in them and steal them off the ship or wherever it is that I am. Because that is a legit way of getting stuff, and we might find them on this ship.
It is.
Me.
It is one of the biggest ways of getting stuff.
I'd expect people like the engineer and the computers and the mechanics guys to kind of know what those things look like and be on the lookout for them. So, Bolo, anything along those lines?
What was that? The
Bolo, anything that looks on those lines. Be on the lookout for.
Okay, so getting back to where everyone is at this stage, we currently have Kayana and Thea in the captain's cabin. We have Garm. Who's Garm? Is Garm with Min?
On the
Bridge
bridge.
with
Yes.
Min and Rumble and Crash.
Yep. All three of us.
All 3 of you are on the bridge.
Yep.
Anyone in the cargo section?
Khalid was in security.
Khalid, I think, was in security. Because he searched.
I just came back from the cargo section.
He searched it
Yeah,
all.
you're
It was
playing
all
video
fine.
games with Jax in the security area. Because they're not allowed. They're actually been told to not put up any of the cameras because they're the VIPs.
And when VIPs say certain things, some people can't say no.
Yeah.
Okay, so Khalid in security finds that the entire security panel's down.
Okay. So the cameras just went off.
Not just off, the entire security section is offline.
Okay.
It wasn't like this last time you were here. And you're the only person in the room as you're wandered in, having no idea why you'd left it in the first place.
Jax was in there, wasn't he?
He was, yes.
Yeah, it was.
not there anymore?
Where is Jax?
Looking around, there's no evidence of where Jax has gone.
Okay. Can I try to get the security back up again?
Okay, apparently you don't have a authorized code cylinder.
That's on the bridge, isn't it?
No, you just need to have a rank enough to be able to do it. Unfortunately, you're not even ranked a lieutenant.
You need to comms Min or Brum and ask them for a raising rank.
So we can manage that.
Yes, but they can't guarantee that he will be given a code cylinder because it's the code cylinder with the rank that is important. Yeah. You could be a rank of general if you don't have the code cylinder. You're equivalent of a.
So we can't upgrade his cone cylinder.
He never got a code cylinder.
So
only the officers got them.
So it's Thayer or
basically Jax was at it.
So it's either Thayer or Garm have a code cylinder.
That is correct.
And does Jax have one?
Jax had one.
So you got to figure out where Jax went.
Well, I'm still waiting and seeing what happens.
Well, the captain would have one.
Yes, but at this stage, has Khalid told anyone? I do not think so. So
I'll be stating that over our comms, say security's just gone black.
Okay, so someone has just announced a security alert.
Well, that'd be the bridge.
No, that would be Khalid saying the security's gone black.
To whom?
He did a broadcast.
Okay.
He didn't announce calling someone in particular, so it's a broadcast.
Being concerned for my captain's safety while he's having his bath, I'll put Kayana on bodyguard duties and open up comms with security and ask them for more information. I gather I recognise Khalid's voice.
Well, Khalid doesn't have the security comms.
He doesn't. I thought we had comms at least with each other.
You have comms with each other, but he doesn't have the security comms.
Okay.
The security system is currently down.
But recognising that it's his voice that went out over as the general security word, I'll get on.
No, it went over the helmets.
And
because it's the only way I can communicate because the comms is out here.
Khalid. And ask Khalid for more information.
Mm-hmm. So Khalid's just gotten a call coming in. Beep, 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 beep.
Yeah, answer it.
Khalid, it's Thayer. What was that garbled message about security?
That security is offline. It is totally black here, and Jax is gone.
Well, where did he go?
I have no idea.
How do you not know? Haven't you been in security with him this whole time?
No, I did my rounds.
What do you mean by your rounds?
Well, everything's fine.
But what are your rounds? So
I
when you
don't
say
know.
rounds, where do
I
you go?
went out, then then I felt everything is fine, and then I've come back in again.
You felt everything was fine. Can I put 2 and 2 together?
Potentially, but you've never done that with anyone, so you might think that either he got confused or potentially manipulated, especially if you can get the time frame to align.
What do you need to get security back online?
Well, I need a what was that thing again?
Code cylinder.
Code cylinder.
I need the security code cylinder.
Well, that'll be me or Garm. We've both got authorization for that. But I suspect you'll need someone who knows a little bit more about computing. Have you contacted the bridge?
No, not yet. Due to the fact that I was just putting it a broadcast over the
Do we
our
have?
comms.
Technically, you would have contacted Brum Brum, Kayana, Garm,
Yeah,
and
because
Min as well.
yeah, because it's gone over our comms.
I'll if it's able to, I'll patch in Garm.
Garm gets one of those call waiting beeps.
While this has been going on, for my actions, I've probably tapped you on the shoulder and said, "Can you have a look and see what's been going on?"
Can I see it from the bridge, or do I need to go somewhere
Give
else?
me a computer check.
Okay. So computers is 4 yellow, 2 green.
Because I'm
Being
assuming,
opposed by what?
It will be up against 5 red.
I'm assuming either the captain's program or the visitors program are the ones that is the one that is responsible for this. I just want to know what's what.
Rolling is going to be interesting.
You did okay last time.
No, it's the angle of rolling. Okay,
Look,
so what's that?
You could move the tray and move it back.
Okay, so there is a triumph, which is good. Those two go away. Those two go away. So that becomes that, and those two go away. So you're quite successful, but very stressed about it,
Okay.
as you've gotten a triumph, 4 successes and 3 threat. As suddenly you realize that there is Imperial override over a majority of the systems, and it's sort of a level higher than Captain.
So was it either of those two programs that we were?
Can't tell what's causing it, just that there's an override on the system higher than Captain authority.
Yeah, I will tell Garm.
Okay. About this time, beep, 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 beep. I answer. Hello. Gum speaking.
It's
Be quick.
there. I've got Khalid. I heard the broadcast about the security.
Yes.
Spoke to Khalid. He says
that 3
the
threats?
systems
3
were
threats,
down
yes.
after he come back from his round.
A threat is an opposite to an advantage.
Which he
And the explosions are
says he
Successes.
felt
successes.
was okay. This is sparking a lot of warning flags for me. It sounds like something's going on. I thought maybe Brum Brum or Min could check it out. But he needs a code cylinder to put things back online where he is.
Yeah, that won't work. Great minds think alike. They've investigated the situation, and it's a Imperial
Imperial override,
override
and the captain can't
at
undo
a
it.
level higher than what the captain could do.
Do I know enough about Imperial ranks by now to have an idea if he could be an admiral or...
You would expect an admiral would be what would be higher. You've not really dealt with anything higher than that.
After our encounter with the Sixth Brother and whoever came at me on that other planet, do I have an idea of where they sit within the Imperial ranks?
You've never seen them interact with other Imperials.
Okay, so I don't know that they're related at all.
They could be, but you're not exactly sure how.
Okay.
I would recommend that you alert the captain.
Yep.
And I will alert the second in command.
Okay. Do you want me to go down to security to monitor things from there? Jax has gone missing, and that concerns me.
It does. If you feel the need to go down there, I'm happy for you to do so.
Okay. Alright, I'll sign off. I will go down to security after I inform the captain.
And can you find out more about this feeling?
Yeah, that's why I'm going to security.
Cool. Alright, speak to you soon.
Yep.
Cool.
Carla, you heard that? I'll be down there as soon as I can. I'll just inform the captain that something's gone up and I'm going to security.
I go and knock on the second in command's door.
Okay.
Tenant.
Takes a while for her to get up and open the door. She looks like she was half asleep.
Ma'am.
Looks, I sort of with that
Half, you know.
well, you have a feeling she took something to knock her out.
Yeah, so I can give you that look like first thing in the morning when they bring me my meds and they wake me up for my meds and I'm like, please don't wake me up.
And has that if looks could kill, she's giving you one of those right now.
Yeah, it's the look I give my kids when they come in at 6 o'clock in the morning.
Yes, so she opens the door.
Yeah.
Ma'am, Acting Sergeant Garm. Sorry. Acting Sergeant McFur.
She's very snaps. What is it? Cutting you off.
There's problems on the bridge. You need to come.
She sighs and says, "Give me a moment." Shuts the door and you hear banging and something being thrown against the wall, and then she comes out with. She has.
This is a PG, sorry.
Has the sidearm strapped, which you haven't seen any of the officers walking around with before.
No, my character's going good.
And basically clothing in a jumble as she's coming along, straighting as she goes.
Yep. As we walk along, my character explains the situation. One of my men has noted the security system's gone down. My people on the bridge determined that a Imperial override was enacted on the system to shut it down, supposedly at a level higher than that available to the captain.
No, she basically starts saying, "Okay, we better get there quickly," and starts jogging instead of walking.
Oh, okay. My character sort of starts jogging on behind her.
Okay, so back in the captain's thing, Kayana has an unfortunate thing to report. The captain is completely out of it.
That's okay. I was going to say, I don't bother trying to wake up my captain or knock on his door. I just open the door, see him snoring, make sure his head's above water.
Well, he hadn't quite made it out of the spa.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Make sure he's not going to drown. And as soon as I'm sure he's not going to drown, I tell Kiana, be on high alert. There's something going on in the security system. She's overheard the conversations. I think try and get as much information out of this room that you can, with the expectation that everything might go to hell and we might need you to back us up.
I am currently documenting everything up that I can now that we know that these are the quote-unquote correct information. So since the captain's knocked out, I'm just going to continue working on this until somebody calls me away.
I'm going to give you the lovely task of getting him out of the water and just putting him on the floor and wrapping him in a towel so he doesn't drown.
Or just drain the water.
Or just drown the water. Whatever. That gets to be your thing because I'm now running to security.
And if he's naked in the room by himself with no water, well, hey, what's the worst that can happen?
I'm pretty sure Khan has dealt with uglier situations in the past.
And then just lock the door. So hey.
Yeah.
I'll tuck in. I'll wrap something around him very nice and just put him away nicely.
I wouldn't take the time for that. But I'm not. I've gone.
Well, it means that she doesn't have to worry about seeing something unintentionally. Yeah, I didn't think you got that small. Okay, so as you start doing that, what is Carla doing?
I am waiting for. Oh. I'm just waiting due to the fact that I was asked to stay here. Let's actually look around to see if anything other than the systems are not turned on, if there's anything else odd, if there's actually been any sabotage or anything like that, there's any obvious sabotage.
Sure, we shall make that a perception roll for Khalid. What could go wrong?
Do you want one of us to do the roll, Carla?
Yep. Which is 1 yellow, 2 green.
Against what?
You're doing the roll?
Well, first we're going to find out if he wants to upgrade, because once I announce the difficulty, technically players can't upgrade.
How many white have we got?
5.
Yeah, I'll upgrade.
So that takes one of the green to a yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I'm
keep in
getting there.
mind that in this session we may end up fighting an Inquisitor, so
And so that becomes
be careful
5 red.
with your upgrade
Against
choices.
5 red.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I don't think it's wrong in this circumstance.
No, I'm just saying to Carla, good luck. Oh, one of the reds is a blank.
Yeah, anything else we get is Mike's fault.
Yeah, we should probably not use the ones with stickers on it, because that harder to tell what they are.
Hopefully that didn't.
Well,
get
one of those
into
is a despair, so that's not bueno.
Was it the reroll one?
No.
Nope.
Okay, so despair and 2 failures. Okay, so as Khalid is looking around, he hears a strange sound of a hum coming behind him,
I would also.
and that's the last thing Khalid remembers for a while.
I was going to say, I would also like to ask you when it's time.
Mm-hmm.
As I'm running towards security, the things I should not have that I've got hidden on myself, I'm going to make them as ready as I can have them, but I'm going to put them on the inside of my jacket, but keep my jacket closed over so that I can get to them, but they're not necessarily easy to see. Does that make sense?
Yep. Okay, so
I can't put the kyber crystals in them without telling someone I'm there, can I?
well, technically, it's only after you start using the Force to put things together, more people know you're there.
Okay. I thought it was once I light it up.
No, lighting it up is if they visually see it, it gets you into trouble,
Right.
but it doesn't do a Force echo.
So can I have them with their kyber crystals in them in my jacket, ready to light up?
Yes, you can.
Okay. Well then, that's what I'm gonna have.
Okay, so as you make it into security, you see Khalid sprawled on the consoles with a cut right through most of the consoles behind him.
Okay. What kind of cut?
Looks like a rather thin cut that has sliced all the way through
Like
the consoles.
A light foil?
Similar but thicker.
Okay. Like what I might be familiar training with Starwing.
Well, you've never really hit the consoles with one of these things,
No,
so
but I've hit shit with those things, like stuff that I've been practicing on.
and
Like,
you
who doesn't try to cut a table in half when they get a lightsaber for the first time?
and there is a burn mark across the back of his helmet.
Okay, I'll check Khalid's vital signs, and I will tell Kayana over comms, get your ass over here as soon as you can.
I immediately say whatever I'm doing and run along to security as fast as I can.
I'll comms to Garm and I'll say, those things you really don't like that you call me all the time, be on the alert.
Silence.
But I gather you got the comms.
How would you know?
I'm hoping. Give me some indication. Otherwise, I have to come and... Can I at least hear breathing?
I'm not transmitting. My character's not transmitting.
You just, tap the comms.
No. My character's currently going. A little horror on my
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
So, as far as I get it, mid running along the lieutenant's
I'm running along with the lieutenant and I go,
Sorry, I'm gonna run out of breath and go red.
And we don't hear this, right?
Oh, you do, because apparently the lieutenant was about to say something to the bridge at the time when you hear that over the comms.
So we
Background.
scream. We don't. I don't know Garm enough to know what that noise means. I just sort of look at Brum Brum Crash and go, okay. We're still working on that program, as far as I'm aware.
Brum Brum's probably looking at you in return going, I don't know well enough to know what that sound means either, but I'll leave it up to Brum Brum to confirm.
So yes, you get a rather puzzled voice from the lieutenant going, yeah, everything's all right here. It's all okay. And then he goes, just making sure that the bridge starts to break out. Emergency procedures for... Just emergency procedures, he says. He seems a bit confused at this point.
Do I know what emergency procedures would be?
No.
I look at Brum Brum. Do you know?
Me, sir, not no, sir.
Can one of you kind of guess?
Yes, ma'am. We are the only ones on the bridge at the moment. Do you want us to summon more people?
You don't have the pilot and the navigator.
I can navigate and my partner here can pilot.
That'll have to do, she says. I'll lock the door and don't open it till I get there.
Yes, ma'am. And turn comms off if I can from my end, and I turn up to Brum Brum and say, I hope you're as good as Dom says you are, because you're pilot and I'm navigator.
So she's off the comms?
Yeah.
Character goes, there's an evil space wizard on board.
Says, what's an evil space wizard?
You know, with the swords that glow.
Oh, Jedi. I thought they were all dead.
No, the other ones.
I will have gone and locked the door.
That's all I know of the evil space wizards.
No, the other ones. Inquisitors. It's one of those guys on board.
Oh, don't be silly. There shouldn't be any Inquisitors on board.
There's an Inquisitor on board. I'm telling you, there's an Inquisitor on board.
Yes. Well, there goes the promotion.
I'm more worried about whether we get to live through this or not.
Well, she's more interested in the promotion because, hey, she wants to get off the ship.
Well, there's someone you can recruit.
Charm. You're not in the right headspace, but charm.
You got weapons with you?
I've got my blast pistol.
She just pats you on the shoulder going, well, nice knowing you.
What? I told you I was not going to get a chance to use my shotgun this.
If we do have an Inquisitor here and they're upset, blasters don't work.
How far away from my room?
No, we're about 3 decks up, she
Your
says.
stuff would have been on the bridge. You never went back to your room.
Oh, that's a good point.
Says your quarters are 3 decks below us. The bridge is 2 decks above us.
We'll keep going to the bridge. I put my pistol away. I've got something there that might be a little bit more useful.
Do you want to tell me to get my grenades out?
Though she does say that if it is an Inquisitor, he can override the captain's safety protocols and go straight to the top.
Yeah, this is Garm. If you've heard...
Who?
Yeah, my character's not thinking. Very good. This is Garl. If you've been paying attention, get ready. There's it appears there's a space wizard on board.
Can I not just lock the door? Can I, knowing that there's an Inquisitor, and they would technically have authority to override the door the way it is there any chance for me to hack it so that I'm the only one who can open it up?
No.
Damn it.
Unfortunately, someone's already thought of that.
Do I notice that somebody's taking control of the door?
Well, it's not the control of the door. They've got override over everything. And they've locked the captain out.
And I can't do anything.
You can try, but each thing you do will alert the person that you've done it.
Yeah, no, that's not a good idea.
And what were you saying, Ross?
Well, you do have a toolkit, correct?
Mm-hmm.
You can cut the door open and then reseal it.
But that won't stop him from opening the door.
It will delay him for a moment.
It will slow him down, but not by much.
And I can't track where people are or anything like that.
Currently,
Yeah,
all
because
the
security's down.
all the security systems are either down or reporting nothing to other consoles.
My character's instinct is to set a booby trap, but I don't think I can do that. Because then I'd be concerned about the lieutenant and everybody getting in.
Yes. Knock, knock, knock. Boom! Opens the door. Whoops.
It's a playmat. You know, as the space wizard comes through the door, click, 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 and blow them away.
But would I have time to react like that?
I don't know, maybe.
Depends on if he does the kick the door in like some people did in the D&D game.
Yeah.
It's like door goes flying into the room, the claymores go with it, and she pushes the button going, uh-oh.
Or the door opens and he uses the force push, and so they all change directions, so they're all random. You go, oh no!
And then we don't really, I guess, want to use grenades on the bridge.
No, that probably isn't a good idea.
I have concussion grenades and glock grenades, but I don't think that would be useful too much against an Inquisitor.
Oh no, a Glock grenade's fantastic. Basically, if that's used against you instead of him, it's not going to harm you in any way.
Stop you from moving.
It will stop you from moving, but if you get them, it stops them from moving.
Yeah, but they're force user.
Yes, and it can stop them from moving.
So I could start setting up 2 glock grenades.
Imagine someone who's not moving and then suddenly you pull out your stun weapons and he can't move his lightsaber.
So they don't just stick them to the floor.
It can literally do like the Incredibles thing where it completely stops him from being able to move.
So if I set them up on either side of the door up, it's more likely to be able to spray.
And then create this big glue ball.
Okay. The question is, can I do that before... Is he going to get to us? Can I set it up?
Don't know till you try.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to figure out if I wait for you guys to get here to set it, like, fully arm the trap, or if I'm more concerned that he's going to get here first. Because I don't know about Boom Boom Crash, but combat is not my thing.
So you're going to blue ball the Inquisitor.
Yes.
Inquisitor's going to have blue balls.
Okay, can I pull out my 2 glock grenades, and try to set up a trap, not set it to, like, not arm it yet, but set it up and check in with, while I'm doing that, I'm going to reach out to Thea and Garm, and I'm going to say, do we have any idea whether you guys are going to get here first, or if I should arm the trap now in the hopes that we can stall him long enough for you guys to come and help?
I'll reply, I'm heading to security. I've sent Garm to your location.
Well, you were already in security.
Oh, you guys are in security, not on the bridge?
No.
You're with Khalid in security.
Thea has gone to security.
Right, yes, okay. I tell them I'm in security. And yeah, that Garm should be coming towards you guys soon.
Do you have an estimate of how long ago it was at security?
It's still glowing.
Would I have any clue from my short experience?
You think you missed him by a couple of minutes.
I'd say he's at least a couple of minutes ahead of us. I would, Garms, if you're on comms, just be aware. I would set whatever traps you've got. You're going to need everything to stop this guy.
Garm has an interesting idea. It says, fuck, do I want to say that?
When she says everything you've got, as well as the glop grenades, I pull out the concussion grenades. I'm setting...
You probably also have got the ability to do a remote detonation because you're the...
Yeah, it's...
mechanic.
I don't know if I trust my... I don't know if I can trigger it faster than he could possibly stop me, is my concern.
You can do the equivalent of Dead Man Switch.
So basically you go click, and as soon as your thumb comes off, it goes poof and goes off.
Okay. We think that's worth it? And I guess that way, like, I'd be able to see. Yeah, okay. Dead Man Switch.
Yeah. You don't detonate it on Garm.
Yeah, I try not to.
Or the person who's not supposed to be Garm.
Well, Garm
You know- you know-
should knock you out.
You notice everyone's using my name over the comms?
Yep.
Yeah, well, no, the thing is, I'm
No,
unconscious.
I just said I messaged you. I didn't say Garm on the
What I
comms.
might do is, while I'm saying to you, I'm like, this
Okay, we
guy...
should call him just Sarge.
This guy can make you think it's a good idea. Whatever traps you set them so that they're gonna go off no matter what. If you set them up so
That's
that
what I was
you
hoping to do.
decide, he can just get you to change your mind.
That's what I was planning on doing. It's just I'm really worried about... Can I set it up? No, because I don't want to be close to it.
Well, look at it this way. You can set the switch so you put it on, it becomes a motion sensor, and you've got to turn it off.
Okay. Yes, I will do that, and I will say to Garm over the thing, let me know if you're approaching and you don't see the dark cloaked man thing, and I will be able to make it so you can get in the door. I hope. Otherwise, you won't die.
Happy days?
What do I have to roll to set up this trap?
It would be a, I believe it is ranged light to do explosives. Let me have
I
a quick-
couldn't do it with one of my mechanics or something like that, considering I'm setting a trap, not throwing something.
No, it actually is the base thing for dealing with grenades is ranged light. It's a skill for manipulating them as well as setting them up.
Okay, I wish it was anything other than ranged light.
That's why it's not your specialty yet.
Like jerry rigging, none of that's gonna help me at all. Jury rigging?
Not at this stage because you're not modifying them beyond what they can do.
Can you get help
And
from Vroom Vroom?
I don't know. Can Vroom Vroom help me set up a trap?
he can.
Yeah, so that was range light, wasn't it?
That is correct.
I've got 3 yellow and 2 green.
So he can provide the skill of 3. What is your agility?
My agility is 2, so I have a yellow and a green. It would almost be better for me to hand them over to Vroom Vroom and say, do it for me, please.
Except he's had no real working with explosives at this stage. He would give you 2 yellow and a green to work on it.
That would work.
Because what would happen is the high number becomes the dice pool and the lower number, which is your agility, becomes the yellow dice.
Okay, so that gives me 3 yellow, 2 green. I feel a little bit better about that.
And you can spend a story point to upgrade it to 3 yellow.
I think we're probably better off leaving those for what looks like it's going to be a battle with Inquisitor. What do you guys think? Or should I upgrade this and hope that it stops him enough?
Well, look at it this way. If the Inquisitor comes down the corridor towards you, this is what is between you and the Inquisitor.
Yeah, okay. So I upgrade
I'll
one of the
regret
greens
that
to a
later when
yellow.
there's no story points and I'm fighting the Inquisitor, but right now, you know.
Okay, I'm upgraded. What am I rolling against?
You're rolling against 1 purple.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's an easy thing to set up grenades to do what they're meant to.
Well, there's a triumph.
Okay, so that means a triumph plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. So yes, you easily set it up for the best effect possible. And the motion sensor does turn on and off with a click of your controller.
Excellent. Don't open the door. Just tell me you're here.
I'll alert the lieutenant to the situation.
Yes. Smart move. Glad whoever ordered those tin cans with you.
My character looks like he's about to shit on himself.
I'm glad I
He's
carried
about
my
this far
grenades.
from panicking.
I'm really glad I brought my grenades. I'm using 4 of them. But...
Okay, as you reach the lift on her level, she pulls out a small little toolkit and starts hacking into the lift controls.
Yep, with my pistol on. I guard her while she does it.
Okay, you see she's rapidly rewiring some of the stuff to bypass the captain's...
Idiocy.
Yeah. Well, it's not an idiocy if someone was actually trying to take the ship, because it would be so painful to go from the bottom to the top that they would see it on camera as someone's rushing along, going up one, rushing along, going up one, rushing along and going up one. It means whoever's on the bridge has so long to know someone's coming.
There's little to no shock or awe.
And yet if the lift goes all the way up, you could basically be in the lift and at the bridge before anyone even knows you're coming.
Yeah.
That's how fast the lifts are. It only takes you a couple of minutes to jerry-rig it. And then you find yourself shooting up. You don't feel the movement that much. It's like a slight sway, and then the doors open. You can see you're at the top section of the ship. Viewports showing the space outside and all the other ships in the fleet. And we have cookies, so obviously the dark side's just about to join us.
Yep.
When it's up to my go, I'll check.
Okay, and as you've now reached the bridge level, I'll switch over to Thea and Khalid.
I'll check his vital signs.
Okay, so he starts waking up as you grab him. Apparently his helmet was thick enough that he didn't get cut in half.
Yep.
But it has a nice, has a significant burn to the back of it.
I'll kind of like help him to sit up in the chair and tell him, just take your time, you've been hit with the lightsaber. Did you perchance see anything?
No, but I heard a buzz.
And you have this faint after image of a red glow.
Right.
Yeah, in a red glow.
I'm not using the Force just yet, but there's kind of like reflecting on, I guess, in a battle strategy type way of, once kind of gets here, sending Kayana and Khalid up to the bridge to help them while I go in a different direction and use my force to attract the attention of whoever's heading towards the bridge. Would this be a strategy that might work?
It may.
Would I be likely to keep, say, Kayana with me just in case, or would I know that it's so highly likely this guy's going to kill everybody that it's better off sending them off to the bridge and, yeah.
If you want to divert attention, if you could get to the detention center to where the spec forces are,
Yeah.
to get back up.
Yeah. I was thinking of heading that way because I'm like, I have to try and get down there anyway. Maybe I can start going in that direction and then use my force to lead him in that direction.
You'd probably need the assistance of the other two then, because you would expect you would then be up against a number of troopers.
The spec forces?
No, the security inside.
Everyone along the way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, yeah, like...
Yep. Nope. That's why I was asking all those questions, because I'm like, I don't think I want to go it alone. But I wasn't sure whether or not it was a good idea to take. They're wearing, not Beskar, Skywing armor though, aren't they?
Well, you'd think that without the scales, they probably would have just sliced the head in two.
So they're reasonably protected as long as they keep as much out of the reach of that lightsaber as they can. Okay, so just my play thinking to herself, her strategy then is going to be, once Kayana gets here, I'll take him with me and head towards the detention thing. And
Do you put your armor on?
Can I put my armor on?
You can, on the way to detention, stop by your quarters and get your armor.
If that is an option, then I would definitely like to put my armor on, because I'm much more squishy without my armor, and I've learnt valuable lessons from my colleagues that if you've got the option of having your armor on, you take that option. So yes, I'll definitely put my armor on.
Okay, so arranging with Kayana to meet you at your quarters.
Yep, okay. Instead of security?
Instead of security, because by the time she reaches your quarters, you'll have already gotten your armor on.
And Min's sitting there going, hurry up! What are you doing? Hurry up!
Yeah, no, I get it. My Ariadna's brain is slow to process, so that's why she's doing the thinking out loud thing, so that she could discount all the stupid ideas first.
Oh no, it's great ideas. It's just Min sitting there going, I am not combat!
And it also means that, I didn't consider putting my armor on because I didn't think it was an option. Martin's like, it is an option, so I'm like, okay.
Min's probably sitting there on the bridge going, okay, what else can I do? What else can I do? I can't hardwire the door shut, I can't.
Because I don't want you guys to jump the guns, I will comms you guys that we're going to do our best to deal with this on our end. Because I don't want to give my strategy away, as in we're going to leave him away. But I want you guys to be assured that there is someone trying to do something.
I've got no cameras, I've got no way of telling where anyone is.
Surprise, surprise, it's the actual Mandalorians.
Just quickly, great minds think alike. Because that thing I was going to say when I was like, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So that I'll comms Kayana officially. Change course. Meet me at my quarters. And then I'll help Carl it up, and we'll head towards my quarters.
Done.
Did you want me to still go to the bridge, or can I follow you?
No, you're coming with me.
Yep. Okay.
And I'll detail that plan to you as you're coming with me, which is we're going to head towards detention to free those special forces, rebel special forces. I'm going to use my spacey timey-wimey, not timey-wimey, too much time in D&D, to attract the Inquisitor towards us. Yours and Kayana's role will be to watch my back, help with the special forces, but to try and stay out of close range of the lightsaber, because you've already had yours hacked into. And then I will try to use my lightsaber to fend off his lightsaber, and hopefully he's not wearing any armor and I cut him in half instead.
Or I just shoot him with the shotgun.
You could try that.
All three at the same time.
Please don't accidentally get me. Even with my armor on, I just would prefer not to be shot.
Broom Broom, do you have a weapon you can have pointed at the door just in case?
Yeah.
I have two. Checked.
I don't have my shotgun.
I will use my blaster pistol.
Okay.
Why don't you have your shotgun?
We didn't have enough weight.
My bag. That's there. You know that my shotgun's in my bag.
The combat shotgun.
Yeah.
So, can I stow away my vibro knives and borrow the combat shotgun?
Yes. Yes, it's loaded.
Oh yeah.
Not everyone keeps a loaded weapon.
For what it's for? Oh yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Not everyone keeps a loaded weapon.
Actually,
The fact that it is loaded is how paranoid you are right now.
I probably would have put down the convertible blaster pistol, kept the vibro knives out because I'm more used to close quarters to melee combat, and then grabbed the shotgun.
Okay, so you hear a tapping on the door and the comms light up, and you have Lieutenant Hyzan Tro requesting access to the bridge.
Okay, I'm assuming that where they're not screaming, so there's no Inquisitor in sight. I deactivate the bomb with a trap. Do I have to open the door for them?
Yeah.
Okay. I go and open the door and go, quick, quick, quick! And then bring on the trap.
Okay, so the lieutenant looks very disheveled, hair everywhere. Definitely not the Imperial standard look.
Lovely to meet you, man.
As she rushes over to the main computer terminal.
I'll follow her over. As I move over, I look at my bag and go, "How could you go?"
You can have it. I needed something.
No, keep it. You're probably better at it than I am anyway.
Okay, you see her pulling out a one of the code cylinders from a hidden pocket.
Mm-hmm.
You want to filch that at some point?
Definitely doesn't look like an Imperial standard code cylinder.
No,
No, we want to convert her. She seems fun.
there's some dodgy shit going on.
Okay, as she says, "Oh, by the way, you don't see anything here. Nothing to see here."
See what, man?
As she plugs it in, and the computer goes haywire.
Maybe the program was hers. So it's a non-Imperial.
Okay. I'll watch.
Multiple people wanted to
There's a
steal
really
the
good
ship.
chance I don't understand anything that's going on, but I'll watch regardless.
Okay,
Can I see it?
looks like she's forcing a reboot of the main computer system. So whatever she did went in and ran root commands and did a restart.
I look at her and nod in approval.
So that's basically zeroing out the
Everyone's access.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Okay.
And basically it's also doing a wipe of everyone's access.
Everyone,
Yeah,
including mine.
everyone's access.
Shit. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I just watch go.
I look at Garm and I say,
Okay, so while that's happening, Kayana makes it to Thaya's quarters just as Thaya's fully suited up.
I feel like some sort of Superman music should be played at this point.
And you notice all the lights in the hallway start flickering and all the doors just open.
No, okay. This is scary. This is where I'm definitely like kinda is good at keeping composure. But definitely just like she knows that we're potentially after something scary because like Kyla has seen evil space wizards before. And so like not in person that we had to deal with them, but definitely doesn't want to deal with it. So yeah, just looking to Thea. I'm just like,
So,
yeah, we're gonna stick together. Let's get going.
As we start moving out, I explain my plan to you because I'm not advertising it over the comms.
Yep.
And I said because I want him heading in our direction as soon as possible. When do you think I should trigger his attention? Now on our way there, or once we're there and got the troopers out? Strategically.
Probably.
We don't know where he is or how far away he is.
So, where we know the troopers are, so there's 1, 2, 3 containers. Are they on the 3rd container?
You believe
From where we are?
you believe they're on the furthest container because that way, if they were to revolt, they'd have the longest distance to travel.
I would say that we would want to attract attention after we clear the first container because it does take time to go between all these places.
Well,
Especially
you can skip the first 2 containers and go straight to the last one without any difficulty.
Yeah, because it's like a long hallway, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I would say as soon as we get past maybe like the second container's doorway or whatever it is to get to it, then we'll try to quote unquote trigger him out and hope that whatever's going on with the
He might have gone
with the
back to
doors
the
and stuff is
passenger.
okay.
He might have gone back to the passenger container because he hasn't turned up on the bridge yet.
And as you reach the cargo skiff that they use to go up and down the length between the containers, you find one of Khalid's weapons sitting on the seat.
Oh, interesting.
Khalid doesn't remember using the skiff.
When we get to where we're going, Khalid, I want you to concentrate on opening up the cargo, like setting the prisoners free, because you've got the mechanics and the computing. That weapon...
I will say out loud that Khalid grabs his weapon again.
Yep, I pick up my weapon and try to work out what.
Because I knew you were gonna question it if we didn't say it.
And and Khalid is very puzzled as to why he doesn't have his weapon because he was sure it was in the holster.
I was going to say, that weapon, do you know how long you've been missing it for?
And he parrots back out, there's nothing to see, all the containers are fine.
Yeah.
Making Thea very suspicious.
Well, now I think he's definitely being influenced by Peter's worst nightmare, Garm's worst nightmare. Peter secretly wants it to happen.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Do I know how to shield them? Would that be the...
Shoot first and ask questions later.
Yeah.
Well, yes, there's definitely that, but was I taught a meditation technique that I can utilize, or do I realize I can't utilize that technique and fight off the Inquisitor at the same time?
You haven't learned the techniques for protecting other people's minds, only practiced not being subjected to them yourself.
Okay. I will be even more aware I've got to protect my mind at the very least, even if I can't protect these guys.
Because it's all about discipline.
And knowing that Khalid's being influenced, I'll be on guard to my own mind being influenced. And as we're travelling towards the thing, I look at Carl and go, you really don't remember how you lost your weapon?
No.
As a Mandalorian, I'm floored by this. Seriously. Like, how did he lose track of his own weapon? Mandalorians don't lose their weapons.
Yeah.
Which does make you think he's been affected.
Sorry, only occurred to me that you might have wanted the long black after I'd done my regular coffee thing. If you really don't like it like that, I'll drink it because I'll drink 2 coffees, no problems, and make you a long black.
I'm good. I'm
You
good.
sure?
Yep.
I'll try to remember next time.
Okay, so Khalid, what is your pilot planetary?
Is 1 yellow and 1 green.
What is Kayana's pilot planetary?
Oh, sorry, I was on mute. Planetary is 1 yellow, 2 green, 2 blue, 1 black.
You're definitely a bit better at it than Khalid, and the black is because you don't have a baseline arm. You've got a slightly not well fitted arm.
Yeah, because I haven't had time for Carla to tinker around because he's been busy tinkering with his own arms.
And just think if it was a rating 0 arm, you'd also have a red on there saying it gets upgraded once.
Did you want
Okay.
snacks of some sort?
I wouldn't mind snacks of some sort. And I'm going to look up Thea's piloting to see if she should be the one driving.
If you could, I do have kind of
So,
a
after this mission, priority is Kyle's gonna look at Carla and be like, fix it.
So I believe Kayana
So you wanna
is
be
the best
upgraded,
pilot at
yes.
the moment.
Just fix the one I got. It needs to hit.
Ross sounds like a Cyberman.
What, healthy nuts?
Yeah, so did you want more strength or more agility?
Try some of these.
It would probably be strength, but we don't have time for that. We have to do things.
Yeah, we're just chatting while you.
So did I miss anything, or are we just arguing over who's piloting the stuff?
Would this game really be planetary?
It's planetary.
Okay, yeah, wait. I'm insane. Don't listen to me.
Okay, so the best dice pool at the moment is 1 yellow, 2 green, 2 blue, and 2 black. The extra black is due to the vessel's maneuverability.
Okay.
Yeah.
Where's the black?
Black. I knew I was missing one. Aha. Alright, there's the black.
Okay, would you like to upgrade your check for piloting Kessler?
How many weight things do we have?
You have 3
3.
left.
And you're going to be fighting an Inquisitor.
I'm sure that doesn't really matter.
Martin is totally not trying to undermine us.
It's my dice pool, and I know how the dice hate me, so I will say yes.
Okay, so we flip one of those things over.
But I swear those dice are out to get me.
That said, I'd rather run than lose to the Inquisitor, so...
And would you like to use your blue dice to remove the black dice, or roll with both blue and black?
I will...
Because the dice hate you, it is in your odds to remove the dice than to
It is.
have
It
them.
is. I will go ahead and remove the blues and blacks.
So the only time you can remove dice is if you have blue and black, just reminding people, and any other time you're sort of stuck with the dice pool.
Can
So-
we adjust the dice camera? It's a little bit off center. There we go. Yeah.
Okay, what are we rolling against?
And you're rolling against what's in there, 2 purple.
Okay. You want to roll?
Okay, so from that perspective, these 2 cancel out. That becomes one of those, and that cancels out. You got a success and an advantage. You have no problems navigating the tight tunnel with the not so roomy barge. So, because it has a handling of -1, it means it fights against your turning and moving.
Keep it in mind. You know, if you just hit things, it makes it work. This is my lesson I've learned in life. Because when you hit people, they work. And then if you hit
This
objects,
is not
they
on
work.
comms, right?
This is why I'm not the primary pilot.
If Min heard that, she would be shuddering.
But you are the best pilot in the group that's on the skiff.
I am, because again, my life philosophy, if you just hit things and make it work, it's fine.
That sounds very Lani-ish.
We have a broom crash. We generally don't need a pilot.
Okay, so you have made it to the final cargo container. You can see the doors open.
Well, I presume Khaled's going to go straight to trying to break in?
Well, he can try to break in if he likes, but I don't think he's going to succeed with the doors already open.
Oh, it's already open, is it?
Yep.
Yep.
Like, even into the detention area?
It is.
Huh, nice. Glad you pointed that out. I didn't pick it up.
It could be a good thing, it could be a bad thing.
Thayer is a little distracted with thoughts of styles and stances and has she practiced enough?
No. Thayer's distracted because Ariadne's putting together snacks.
I was trying to be thematic.
I'm teasing.
Because if you're trying to put together snacks in the game, that would be rather interesting.
I apologise for being distracted. You really don't want the strawberries?
No.
Okay, I'll
I'm not a big strawberry person.
I have
them
There's
occasionally.
only 3 of them in there.
I will eat strawberries anytime.
Well, there's going to be more on the plate now because Martin doesn't like them.
I'm not a big fan of them. I'll have a couple, but I won't have a lot.
Well, the grapes were...
I adore strawberries.
Were, it wasn't any good grapes to get this week, so there's heaps.
I adore
Closer
strawberries, as I
towards
said.
the strawberry lover.
Okay, the area that it opens into the container is a lift system and control room.
So when you say lift system and control room...
The cargo container is a multi-level container.
Okay. Can you explain to the visually impaired and visually impaired how this stuff works? Do I understand this as a character? And if I do, what is it?
Okay, so you come into the container, the airlock space that you've entered in through, because they are designed to be jettisoned into space.
So it's like, first thing you walk into like a box, and that's the airlock.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Then on the other side of that is a security room, so many containers, much like where Khaled almost lost his head.
Yeah.
And you would see around the room quite a few...
So is it a huge room? That's what I'm trying to visualize. You're like many containers, like, but I'm still...
Sorry, I was trying to actually describe stuff, but I'm
You
struggling
do
to...
this all the time.
I know, I'm trying to get words out, but I can't talk fast enough for you. I'm sorry.
No, I was trying to go back a step where you're like, it's a security room, and I'm like, well, is it like this room? And then you said it's full of containers, so I'm like, well, is it a hall then?
I'm getting confused right now.
We're tired.
Yeah. I've had a long day, so trying to get words out is not easy.
Okay.
So you go through an airlock, and inside is a security room with consoles, which I meant to say instead of containers.
Okay.
I thought I said consoles, but brain sometimes gets the wrong words out. And sitting at those consoles would be rather confused looking troopers.
Right.
Number?
At least 10.
Oh, wow. Okay.
But do I understand how this cargo system works? Do I understand what's beyond this console room?
No. You have no maps, you have no concept of what's beyond it, besides what looks to be a lift.
Okay, so I would like to figure that out. So, I
Are the troopers looking at the consoles or looking at the Mandalorians?
Well, they've stopped looking at the console, so turn around, look at the people who've walked into the room they thought was locked.
I'm going to just assume the demeanour of like a sergeant or officer in charge. I'll say there's been a security breach. We are here to contain that. We need full access to this room. You guys need to head towards... Where would I send them? These guys, they're not dressed... When you say troopers, are they dressed as troopers?
Not dressed as stormtroopers, dressed as naval troopers, but all in black, not in the grey colours.
Okay.
Meaning they're security specific.
Okay. So the question is where do we send them? You need to go to the security room, and you need to help the security officer in charge there get things under control. Well, we lock down this area.
Okay, so the one who has the most colour on his breast with the different symbols says he needs an authorization code.
Do I have that in my little cylinder thingamabobber? I am going to...
Would the lieutenant know it?
They were kept separate.
I'm going to see if I can bluff my way past not needing it. I'm like, what do you mean stopping for bloody authorization codes? There are important passages on this ship. The captain, who has made me his executive assistant and second in charge, whom I'm quite sure you'd like to have a very long conversation with about holding this up during this time of urgency, needs you in that security station now. Go.
Would you like to be sounding like you want to beat him up, or do you want to just blatantly lie to him?
Deception.
I'm guessing deception rather than...
Deception is 3 green for you, whereas coercion is 4 green.
Look, I'll take the 4 green.
So that's
If-
the coercion.
If using coercion, does
Is
Carly then
Colin
help her?
looting?
Deception I would, but I'm the one who needs to do coercion.
Okay.
Can you guys
Listen
aid
to-
coercion?
The lieutenant. Can I then do the coercion with that one
Yeah, well, I'm
as being intimidating?
Unfortunately, Thay is the one who's doing the yelling. You can assist by... Do you have any yellow dice in coercion?
Yes, but I wanted to use my abilities.
Unfortunately, it wasn't Carly doing the yelling, so Carly can assist. Which means you can provide either the attribute or the skill. And if you have the same for both, it's a blue dice.
Look, I'll make this suggestion. Assist me on this one. If it fails, you start yelling.
Yep. Well, in that case, I'll be doing the skill because the will's slightly higher than mine.
Can I use that ability where I can use anything? Or is my will highest anyway?
Your will is one of your highest.
Okay, cool. Alright.
You are a very willful character.
Would you mind giving me my dice for that? Because I don't have my shit in front of me.
Okay, am I looking at...
Are you cold?
A little bit.
God, I'm hot.
But you have been running around, remember?
You have.
Yeah.
So-
I've been a big
Also
slug.
burning
My
the
Mandalorian hood.
It is 4 green, but I believe that... What is Khalid's skill?
Actually thinking I might head in and
2 yellow.
So that becomes 2 yellow, 2 green.
2 yellow, 2 green.
Would you like to upgrade?
I'd like to, but I'm not going to because there's going to be
We're down to 2. If we use
that's
1,
what
we
I
don't
mean.
want to do
There's
anything else.
going to be, at some point, maybe, there's going to be other things to overcome, so I'm just going to hope.
From
for
what
the
I
best.
know, we want to keep at least 1 white, so we have 1 more story point to use.
Yeah, so I won't, even though I'd like to, and as I said, I'll just hope that if I fail this one, Khalid's able to yell in my place, and do the thing.
See, this is where Seiko would be really useful.
Okay.
Wrong
I know.
world setting.
But she has some really cool things to back up or
What am I
fix
against?
people's
You are
failed
up
deceptions.
against 2 red and a purple. But I'll make it easier for everyone. I will make it 3 red
To 3 red?
and flip over one of the tokens.
Did you gonna do that? Mike, this is on you.
So we get a white back?
Yes.
Excellent.
Which is
Yeah. Actually, that might not work out too bad. So there's on the reds 2 blanks, 2 threats. On the yellows, 5 advantages, 1 success.
Okay.
So 2 of those advantages would count out 2 of the threat. I'll get it.
it's okay. I just keep dropping the food.
Yeah. Do you want it in the bin?
No, that's fine. It's not like I'm not used to dropping my food all the time at the moment anyway.
So that gives me 3 advantages, 1 success, which I think is bare minimum to succeed.
Okay, the officer snaps to attention and says, "Sorry, sir."
Good. Did all 10 of them run out of the room? Oh, leave me any authorizations and things that I need to access this area. No, actually, I might say to Khalid, get them to leave any authorizations and accesses we need for this area.
Didn't all that stuff get overwritten when
They don't know that.
Okay, so what does Khalid say?
You heard the lady, and now the security. What was it? The security
Code cylinders?
Any code cylinders and authorization codes that we need to operate this station while they're away. We'll hand it back when they get back.
Okay, so Khalid, you will have to make you'll have to give us your coercion check at this stage.
Okay, I spend use my intimidating. I spend 3 willpower. I lessen the difficulty by 3.
Mm-hmm.
So what have we got in terms of dice then?
2 yellow, 1 green.
And what are we up against?
1 red.
1 red? Damn it. Why do I keep putting this in a different place? I want a cybernetic extension of a cane that can pop out of the end of either arm.
And then while
so
she's sleeping, whack!
that's the roll. So we've got 2 threat, 1 advantage, 3 successes. So I think that leaves me with 1 strain, and 3 success.
Okay, Khalid.
No, Khalid. That leaves Khalid.
And 1 strain.
You end up taking 1 strain from it as you are barking them out. They look a little confused as they start handing over code cylinders and codes.
What does strain mean, just for the person who... Oh, it's the
Mental capacity. How much you can tax your brain before you go...
Okay.
It's how much before Garm loses control of himself because of evil space wizards.
Don't know what that would look like on a menu. Luckily,
It's
I don't
normally
have to find out.
unconsciousness. Okay, so while that is happening on the bridge,
Yes.
you're seeing systems come back online.
I'm asking Lieutenant, how do we control our system if all of the access has been removed?
As she says right now, everyone should have access.
What, everyone?
That there is, on a reset, no one controls the system.
What, everyone has exactly the same level of access?
Until she starts locking it down again.
My friend's an exceptional computer specialist. If she can be of any use.
Willing and able.
She says to just start securing all the doors between here and anyone who's not supposed to be on the ship.
Are the cameras up? Can I see Inquisitor at all? Like, can we see anything? Or?
Looking, you see that there are over 1,000 different cameras on this ship.
Alright, I'm just trying to figure out if he's gone back to the passenger thing, and if I could just lock off the passenger the crate, and try and contain him that way.
You have no cameras inside the passenger container.
I can't, at a quick glance, I can't see an intimidating black-robed figure anywhere on the...
As you're flicking between cameras,
Nope.
nothing seems to be there at this stage.
Okay.
But occasionally you come across cameras that seem to be offline.
So if I focus on shutting down, putting up locks on doors and locking out can I lock the elevators in place?
Mm-hmm.
So I want to lock the elevators in place, lock as many doors as I can to the bridge, and I want to comms to Thea, or comms to Kayana, because I figure Thea's probably doing something, and say, are you guys where you need to be yet?
Can I see what she's doing?
Mm-hmm.
My character says, what about if you lock down every door, and then those that need to open a door, you can do so.
Makes sense. Can I do that?
Yes, you can.
So lock down every door,
and
down
elevators.
every elevator.
Unlock the elevators, everything shut.
Mm-hmm.
And that way, if we need to move, then she can provide said access for us.
Okay, you see that you've managed to shut down over 400 doors across the ship.
Is that the right amount? Have I locked down the elevators?
The 5 main elevators are locked down.
What about the not main elevators?
Those ones don't even seem to be listed as operational yet.
Okay, so, and as far as I'm aware, that's everything locked down. I'll say to Garm, everything seems locked down. Elevators aren't moving. If you want to let the others know, to let me know if they need anything opened.
Can you set up levels of access for us?
Yeah.
You can.
So, would that be relating
And
to code
body.
cylinders?
It would be relating to it, but you'd have to then give that person the physical thing.
Yeah.
It's like a pass key. If you don't give them the pass key
So
is,
I can't say to the doors, because as he said, the codes keep changing.
the codes keep changing, but the registered code cylinders have all been deleted.
Yeah, so not really.
Here's my code cylinder. Authorize it.
You can do that, yes.
Yep. Okay.
Basically, any code cylinder plugged in the computer can be authorized while it's in the computer.
So Lieutenant and Garm have authorized code cylinders.
Also, the system was adjusted somehow by, well, I'm thinking was adjusted by the Inquisitor somehow. Is there any way you can keep an eye on?
Is that program still there?
As you're having a look, you're seeing it looks as if a factory back door is being activated. Which that's supposed to exist.
That sucks.
I will let Garm and the Lieutenant know and ask if there's any way to shut the factory back door. Or do I know of any way to shut the factory back door?
Yep, turning the computer off.
The only way to stop the factory back door from being able to affect anything is to shut it all down.
Okay, where's it being Where is it being accessed from?
System says the captain's terminal in his room.
System says Captain's terminal in his room.
I look at the lieutenant and go, how should we deal with this, man?
Well, she says he shouldn't have that level of access, but he has been asking questions where he shouldn't have.
Okay, so how do we deal with this, man?
You got plenty of sidearms?
I nod at shotgun person over here.
Maybe we should pay a visit to the captain and relieve him of his command.
I'm pretty sure he's locked in the bathroom by Kayana.
And unconscious, which makks things concerning.
Oh yeah, I loaded up those drugs. I
I
gave
mean,
him
combat
so
shotguns
much
back
that
to you. If you want me to come with you, but
Well, you've got computer stuff you really need to do.
yeah, I would
Yeah.
suggest I stay here and
Keep in
Who's to
mind,
say it's the captain that's doing it and
Yes.
it's not the Inquisitor?
that's my concern.
yes,
And as you're looking outside, you're seeing the fleet starting to jump.
Is my navigation stuff still in place, or do I
Nope.
need,
It's been completely wiped.
can I quickly adjust the navigate? Is there any chance for me to shift, like do anything about that?
You can enter in your own astrogation stuff. That would be an astrogation check, because you don't even know which way you're supposed to be going.
Astrogation.
we haven't got any
So what do you
information
mean?
from
What do
the
you
What's
mean?
yours?
What he
No,
means
you've
is-
lost all your authorization.
What he means is, you would need to determine where you're going, as opposed to.
Do we need to
Piggyback.
jump with
Pilot.
the fleet? Don't we
I
want to
have
steal it?
4 yellow,
Yep.
2 green, 3 blue.
If you jump in a different direction than the fleet, then it's obviously the ship's been stolen.
Right. What if we don't jump at all at this stage? Or what if
Then-
we report in that our systems are down, our astrogation is, etc.
You'll most likely get boarded by the security vessel.
As they're jumping, like, will I see they were said,
You'd see the vector they're going off at.
so I can see the vector that they're going off at? Okay. Can I read it off quickly to Brum and say, pilot away, mate?
Okay, so that would be an astrogation check for Brum Brum. What is his astrogation?
4 yellow, 2 green, 3 blue.
Because he can't do the check, so...
Can I do a quick, like,
I was going to say,
Would-
who did you want rolling?
could, like, when I read it out, can we, would Brum be able to adjust it slightly so that we're not going to land with the rest of the fleet?
He can. But the idea is you don't even know where the fleet's going. If you just jump in that direction for a brief moment and jump out, you're still no longer...
Okay. So same vector, short or longer time span.
it would be a short time span, because you don't exactly know where it's going, so you don't want to plan for a long jump.
Yeah. I will leave.
Does Brum have Galaxy Mapper?
Yes, I do.
That's
I will
why
leave
he
that
has
pilot
3
to
blue.
Brum.
And it means he can map very quickly.
Looking at Brum's piloting stuff, I don't think we need a story point, unless Mike says he wants to use one.
No. No.
What are we against?
Okay, so...
For what? Is this for astrogation?
Yeah.
Yeah, just use whatever my dice is.
Yep. We've got a white one back.
The idea is always to help as a GM. I'm helping!
Okay, I'm gonna move this roll and then put it back, okay?
That's fine. Blank dice go out first. So it ends up as a success and an advantage as Brum Brum rapidly punches in coordinates off in that general direction. and the lieutenant, before you get that far, has dragged Garm, as she now knows you as, out the door, heading towards the captain's office.
Did she actually use my name?
Yep.
My
Could be a
character,
rebel.
my character sort of, as we're moving on, character goes, that's actually my nickname, ma'am, but...
That will work. Works for me.
I'm happy for you to use it.
She says, works for me. As she pulls out her gun and flicks it off stun to energy. Basically, it's unusual for an Imperial to carry a gun on stun.
Mine's on stun.
Yeah, that is unusual for an Imperial, which she's supposed to be,
It's not I.
to have hers on stun,
I'm supposed to be an Imperial.
which would possibly give you a clue that she's like you and not an Imperial.
Possibly.
And you can hear her, she starts muttering about idiotic Imperials always getting in the way of things. Can't she just have Imperials who know what they're doing?
Incompetence always makes life harder.
Yeah, she keeps commenting on how they keep promoting incompetence.
Okay, it's just grunts in agreement.
Yeah.
I just got promoted to sergeant. I'm not sure what you mean.
This could be an opportunity.
She looks you up and down and goes, point taken. Congratulations. She'll confirm that, Sergeant.
This could be an opportunity for you to try and get more information out of it all.
And if you play your cards right, you might be the next lieutenant.
Thank you, ma'am.
She needs people who can actually deal with a crisis. Especially if she has to retire the captain.
The character looks like he's going to shit on himself. He's still freaking out. Like, he doesn't know where this evil space wizard is, and he's like, it's going to get me to kill myself!
You seem to be holding it reasonably well together.
Well, I now have my shotgun that I specifically trained in so I could kill evil space wizards.
Okay, so...
As they've left, booby trap back on.
Mm-hmm.
Doors locked down, booby trap back on. As secure as I can make the bridge as I can.
You know, we're all heading down to the detention centre and so on to get these special forces guys. And the Inquisitor's probably going to turn up in the captain's room. But...
Why did you have to say that?
Because I was about to say something else, but I was waiting for a reaction.
Sorry, as when they've left, I come to Thea, going, you won't be able to get through any doors unless you tell me I can open it for you.
Okay. We are currently in the last third cargo bay. We've sent the 10 troopers here to the security room and told them to try to get the system up running because we know they probably won't be able to. And it keeps them occupied.
Are there any doors between, like...
There's lots of doors. You've pretty much closed all the blast doors along the full length, which normally takes a speeder to traverse.
So they're trapped
yes.
Wherever they are? They can't move forward or backward? Excellent. It's okay, they're trapped.
So I'm going to leave it up to Kayana and Carla to get us down to the special forces.
Okay, so the container has its own operating system and power supply. Is operating independently of the ship.
Yeah.
The only thing that's connected to the ship is it can draw power from the ship and has a connecting corridor. It's technically a vehicle in its own right, and it can do re-entry without the ship.
Okay.
Just that it can't take off without the ship.
Sweet.
It's designed as something that they can jettison while going past the planet and not have to stop.
But would this be a good moment now to try to see if I can attract the attention of said force user?
You could, though you can also use it as a chance to scan through all the footage of the cargo container.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea.
I'm also aware that he's probably going to interact with these guys at some point.
You can try to reach out and connect with them.
Well, you've suggested looking at the footage first, so we'll do that first.
I hate to interrupt, but, like, Min is watching the controls for the doors, and if any of them open
Is
without her knowledge,
Is that at the same time as you're setting up my data?
Credentials.
you've already got it.
You've been
You're
given
gone.
you've been given control before you left.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
All you have to do is plug it in and hand it to you.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, I am monitoring every
Good job.
input I can get to see if anything does something it shouldn't be doing.
Is there any reason why Kayana can't scan the footage while I do the force forces?
There's no reason why you can't do it that way.
There's a reason why.
I said there's no reason why you can't do it
no
that way.
reason. Cool. Awesome. I'll suggest to Kayana, since intelligence is one of the things that she's looking for, that maybe she can scan the footage, and while they're figuring out what's in this container and how to get to it, I'm gonna poke the force user, and we'll go from there.
I will remind you that personnel is technically your job for finding
Is it?
the spec forces. If
Oh,
anyone
okay.
else finds the spec forces, then it's not considered
So
a bonus.
I have to do the search.
Oh, really?
I can't.
That they can help you do it, but they shouldn't be doing it instead of you.
Okay. All right.
So you'd probably
do
be
that
needed to be involved in getting getting to them and getting them free, not just assign it to someone else.
Well, I
You can do the scanning in the call on the person in the room, but if they separate from you and go off and do it without you, then it's not you doing it.
I was just suggesting that it's fine.
No, that's a good suggestion because you know how other players can use like, oh, I found this, let me keep going. And I think, thankfully, Kayana and Khalid know, like, we have to, before moving forward, wait on Thea's okay before moving forward. So I think, yeah, just as players, it was good to point that out.
So if Kayana scans the footage while Thea pokes the force user,
And then we
as
don't
long
move
as
until
she's
Thea
still
says
the
yes.
one that moves and helps, like as long as she's still in the party while they're
Which
moving.
was my intention all along.
It's partly having to remind people so everyone else doesn't.
I wasn't going to send them off after it. I was just getting them to...
Oh, no, it was so that me and Ross don't jump ahead about you. So that was more towards...
That was the
more-
what I was trying to
Yeah.
remind people of.
Yeah.
Sort of like last session where I reminded that Kayana had to be involved in the intelligence for it to actually
Count
work.
as the objective.
Okay, so what is Khalid's and Kayana's computing?
Okay.
As they crack their knuckles and get ready to work on the computer systems.
3 green.
Yeah. Okay. 2 yellow, 3 green. I've also got the slicer gear.
Okay, so the slicer gear will help you break into the computer system, but you stole everyone's code, so you don't need to do that part.
Okay, cool.
I was going to say, I haven't been able to use my slicer yet.
So we're having Kylid look because Kayana's way of doing it with computers is hit it until it gives you what you want.
So you can use the slicer gear to run a preset program, which is pretty much what the lieutenant did. Meaning she didn't have to sit there and do stuff. It just went into the system and did it for her.
It's the USB drives that hackers on TV use all the time.
Yes, but it just runs a specific program. So if you don't specify the program beforehand, it does nothing.
I'm pretty sure if Kayana wants to just hit computer consoles until they give her what she wants, she needs to go to, I think it's Krashak? The Wookiee planet. They all built their gear so that you could hit it and get it to do what you want. But I'm pretty sure the Imperials, if you hit their gear, it just breaks.
Smash! Boom!
They're real good at making things that break.
Yeah, that's why, I think it's Krishak or Krashak or...
3
Something like
Ys.
that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means that Khalid Computers will be the one we use, which is 2 yellow, 3 green.
Yep.
Okay, so
We are
Deathmaker
back
doesn't
up.
apply.
We are back up to 4 white if you want to use one, but again, Evil Space Wizard incoming.
Do we need advantages for this roll?
Well, you're not sure, but the other thing is you don't need to worry about that until after you get successes.
Oh no, it's just that it states that before interpreting the result.
Yes, but again, you still need successes. The interpreting the results are when I say what happens with the successes and advantages.
Oh, okay. I thought you had to do it before you calculated what the result was.
Yeah, interpreting the results isn't reducing the dice to what the dice are. It's saying what those dice do. So if I said if I said you failed to get enough advantages to find something, that's interpreting the results.
Okay, yeah, cool.
I just trying to clarify that for you there, Ross. So you had the right you had the right idea, but the ability doesn't work until after you've rolled.
Okay, I thought it had to be during and working out if I succeeded or not. Okay, so it's actually after I've succeeded, but I haven't been told what the result is.
And normally when you remove dice down, then you can go, okay, I've still got successes, but there's threat. I can turn some of that successes into advantages to remove the threat.
Yeah.
And then we can go on to interpreting the dice or just giving you extra advantages.
Okay.
Okay, so did you wish to upgrade your check?
Can Kayana help
Yeah, I
you?
will.
Kayana was saying she likes to hit things. I'm not sure that gives her a blue dice.
No.
I'm not very good at helping here.
She is able to assist on computers, but I think her version of assisting on computers is either whack it or pull out pom-poms.
So it adds a black or a red die. Or a purple die.
Yeah.
Okay.
I would say so. So yeah, no. Kayana is there for moral support.
So we're story pointing?
I think she's scanning the footage once the footage is brought up.
I'm not sure if we want Carla. I will have you take the last call on that. Do you want to use a point?
How many Twilight have you got left?
4.
4.
We're also expecting.
Evil Space Wizard.
I'm about to poke a Inquisitor.
Okay, no, that's fine.
Okay, what are we rolling against?
Okay, it is going to be purple. Because there's a lot of cells to look at.
That's bad.
I was going to say.
I say that. I should have said that. I'm not on wood.
Okay, so. I'm going to learn how to interpret the stuff.
Okay, so the simple one is you take out the blanks, and then the stars and the triangles cancel each other out. And then that symbol and that top symbol also cancel each other out, so rolls it over to one of those. And this one has the same sort of thing, so we roll it over to that, and that becomes that. So Ross can technically remove the threat and add advantages if you wish to.
Yeah, I'll do that. So I'll take 2 strain.
This is where you do the swap over.
So that's basically how your ability works, and then I interpret it for you to say what the results are. And as you're looking through it, you find numerous points of interest in the security feed.
One of them is a space wizard.
Sure, if you'd like me to put it in there.
No.
I wouldn't want to disappoint.
No. Sorry.
Okay, so the first thing of interest is that there are 4 levels to the detention center. Each level is pretty much laid out identically, with lots of access points, and each level has a interrogation droid associated with it. You can see a room with a bunch of nasty-looking guys who you assume are the guys you're looking for, because they all have that if looks could kill, they could probably do it pretty well.
Okay.
So the special forces are the guys who look like they're going to kill things.
Mhm.
Doesn't yard space.
Can you tell
And-
where that is?
You can tell exactly which level and cell, and you can bring up the codes to get into it. And you do see that there is quite a few rooms with people packed so tightly they're standing room only.
That would be the slaves.
And you're looking at maybe 200-300 people packed in spaces meant for 50. And so that would be a thing that Garm would need to be involved in to get for your team to get the bonuses for that one.
So we can leave that until later.
Just so you know about that beforehand, because it does suit into your don't free the people unable to help until you're actually free.
Yeah.
But free the people trained for murder.
Yeah, because
Yep.
they can help you to murder.
Yeah.
Also,
Is the trader also here?
Looking through the any single cell people seems to be imperial, political, alien. Nothing seems to strike as what you'd expect a single rebel to. Based on the pictures you were given, there's no single cell that has a person like that in it.
That's interesting.
But then you're expecting high-value targets would probably have been switched to the passenger compartment with their own security detail,
which is the second.
which is the one closest to the bridge.
Do any of the people in the cells look, not that they would know to look for this, but like science officers?
Hard to tell, but again, if they're respected people or valued people, they would be in the personnel, the passenger one, because luxury versus cell.
And I've got the doors to the passenger crate shut.
As far as you know, yes.
Okay. I know you keep doing that.
And unfortunately, the camera to the passenger section is currently saying offline.
Yep. Speaking of cameras, do I have a camera into the captain's quarters?
No, that's offline too.
I will. I know we're security feeding people, but I would have let Gum and the lieutenant know that I have no eyes in the captain's quarters.
Okay, as you get off on the captain's level, you can see there's these lines through the walls where all the cameras used to be, and bits of camera all over the ground.
Told you I should be
Character
this guy.
Looks like I'm looking. Actually, I recognise what that's from.
You've been told.
Okay, my character goes. I grab the lieutenant and then go. Sorry, man. The evil space wizard's down that way.
Okay, so you see her pull out a different key and go up to one of the doors nearby. It's an armory.
Okay, while she's doing that, I've got my shotgun, but I click my communicator and I go, evil space wizard's in the captain's quarters.
Get out of sight, I'm about to poke him.
So you see the armory door slide open.
Man, one of my compatriots is going to do something to attract the Inquisitor.
It's okay, well, come in, grab a weapon. If you want something different.
What's in there?
She's got some heavy repeating blasters and a couple of various grenades.
I was going to say, see the grenades,
Grenades.
I got
all
shotgun.
grenades.
Okay, I'll stick with my shotgun, thank you, man.
You see her grab a couple of things labeled dangerous.
So if you shut the armory door...
Do I recognise them?
What's your ranged light?
One yellow.
You know the grenades. You just don't get a good look at it.
Okay.
Does it have an acne label on the side?
Do they have a witch label on? Ah, no, doesn't.
Acme.
No, they don't have the Acme label, but hey, I'm sure it would help if it did.
I'm so glad I got you to repeat that because that is so much funnier than I thought it was going to be.
But I'm pretty sure they're not like thermal detonators, right?
You think they may?
Yeah, the thermal detonators from Acme.
I'm pretty sure they're thermal detonators too.
Are you
Because
sure?
I'm pretty sure that's how
She goes, if evil space wizards are trying to take me down, she's not going to go down without a fight.
So she's definitely
Okay, let's do this, man.
find it
I
interesting
am going to.
that an Imperial officer is fighting so hard against an Inquisitor.
Some of them don't like them.
I'm going to hope that I.
Because the Imperials resent the Inquisitors because the Inquisitors can pretty much override anything they want without any repercussions.
Kill them.
And yes,
Yeah.
most of them get killed simply because the Inquisitors having a bad day.
Cool.
I'm going
And the Inquisitors do the social distancing.
I'm going to repeat very quickly to Garm, stay out of sight. I'm going to get his attention now.
Okay, so
Alright,
looking.
relay that to the.
I just need
To the
a few
lieutenant.
seconds.
Mhm.
Actually, yeah. If I
Yeah,
can,
she puts the she does the shut the door thing.
Yeah, my character points the
Okay.
shotgun down the corridor.
So Thea gets to make a sense roll.
Yes, can you please?
3 yellow,
I know there's a lot of dice for this. And
3
the answer
blue.
is yes. Jesus, my hands suck.
and 3 white.
So the answer is yes with the upgrade.
Flip.
How does that upgrade work?
Gives you a green dice. Because you've already filled out your green.
How many reds? Is it more than 4?
Okay,
It's not a
so
suggestion, by the way. There might be none to attract his attention, actually. It might be bonus. You now have a
Of course.
space wizard on your ass.
Of course, this could be you sensing him
Yeah,
while he's currently trying to screw my brain over.
we'll find that out. When Martin tells me what the difficulty is.
Just quickly, Martin.
yep.
At this point, my character's going to take a red on anything I'm doing with regards to the space wizard.
That is fine. Or just at least an upgrade. Is the general thing what a red does. Okay, so you get 2 purple as the base use of the power.
Okay, so. I'll split it up. Without trying to throw my dice everywhere. And 2 blue blank, 1 blue success and advantage, 2 threat, 1 failure.
Still rolling all the dice. Lots of dice to roll.
3 light, 2 dark. Okay. 1 blank. 3 success, 2 advantage.
Lots of success.
So that totals 2.
Okay, so if we take that advantage, this is always really hard for me to figure out. So that advantage and that success just cancel each other out straight together with all of those blanks. Then that advantage, change that to an success, and that cuts out the 2 threats and those 2 advantages. That leaves me with 3 successes, 3 light, 2 dark.
Okay, so you find yourself connecting with someone. You haven't really done that with someone you didn't know before.
Okay.
And you get a sense that this person specializes in finding those that are hidden.
Those that are hidden.
Information, people, secrets.
Okay.
As they're
Is it your father?
Do I know who my father is?
Probably yes.
Okay. Now I think about it.
And
anyway, it's more important who my mother is, right?
I am your father.
and they seem to be concentrating on the secrets the captain has been gathering.
Right.
And then they sort of notice you.
I do not shy away.
And you get a feeling of curiosity.
Give him a force middle finger.
Let's see how to play this.
So he's a good fighter. He's a Hufflepuff.
From,
Play off of that.
Got the eyes being injured on that.
from Starwing's lessons, would I have an idea about how to kind of generate interest without, like, positive interest out of other Imperial, other Inquisitors and things? I gather we talked about.
Basically, the Inquisitors will find anyone with force use interesting or a threat.
Okay.
Currently, he's curious instead of murderous,
Right, okay.
which means you probably found a nicer of the Inquisitors.
So I'm gonna hope that this is the right bet, and I'm gonna let my mind briefly think about Thrawn and my mission for Thrawn.
Okay, so you get a sense of anger from the person.
That's okay. It'd probably be enough for him to come. I'm also going to try, now that I get the anger from him, I'm going to try and think sort of that I'm not all that. I don't agree with Thrawn. I'm going to get my natural hate for Thrawn, because he kicked my ass, bleed through into that.
Okay, you get a sense of pausing because hey, you're letting your anger leak through.
And my anger is specifically with that, you know, what's that word when people, that condescending bastard type. You know, I'm not a big fan that I'm doing this for him.
Depending on his own skill, he may not be able to get the nuance. Just that
You may not.
a sense of purpose, a sense of he gets angry that you've got a sense of purpose. You get angry in return because he got angry, and it might be challenge thrown, but it might be more than that. Hard to tell depending on how much that person is actually trained.
Who knows?
What you have learned from the Inquisitors from your teachings is, as powerful as they might be, they are not fully trained.
Okay.
You're on par with the lesser of them.
If I want to get him to come in this direction.
You've already done everything you need to get him to come in your direction.
Okay. All right. I'll.
You have indicated you're a rival.
Okay. I will withdraw at that point and check in with Kayana and Khalid, but not before I say to Garm, I've poked the bear, I believe he's coming.
And Garm hears the sound of mental screeching
From my head.
from outside the armory door.
I'll be in the corridor.
You're in the
You
you went inside the armory.
Because she went into the
You
armory
locked-
and I told you
Yeah,
guys to
you
hide.
locked the armory.
So your last position was aiming your shotgun at the door of the armory that
I
was
thought,
closed.
okay, I had it in my head that I was in the corridor and down the corridor waiting for him to come out and make himself visible. She'd gathered her shit and was then coming out with me. And as we were
No, she dragged you in.
No, she dragged you in.
Okay, that's where I misunderstood.
Because I told you guys to keep out of sight for a few seconds.
And you hear music coming from the other side of the door.
Humming?
No, just seems to be wherever this guy's doing, the sound system's giving him a background intimidating music.
I'm watching the cameras. Like, I figured out that the cameras being down near the captain's quarters probably means that's where things are.
Mhm.
I'm watching. Do I see any changes to the cameras, or do I see enter the camera zone?
No, but you do get that there's a program running in the background,
Okay.
and
Spotify playlist.
apparently the broadcasting system of certain hallways are activating all the hallways without cameras anymore.
I'll let people know that he's he's outside the armory door.
And then you hear the door shake a little bit as if someone's trying the door.
I was going to say, considering eBay and Marketplace, does Mike have a suggestion for a replacement for Spotify?
Oh God.
Five spot.
Strikerfy.
Or Darkfy.
Nah, Strikerfy.
That's it, that's what it's called.
Okay, so yes, you feel someone jiggle the door, which you're not sure is possible. Most people can't jigger a blast door.
Yes.
And then you hear the music start to dim as it moves on.
He's moving away. I think he's coming towards you guys.
I'll say, use this opportunity to get in the captain's office and get what's left.
Do I see cameras start to go
Okay.
down? Or?
The cameras are all down already. Seems he's walking back the way he came.
Okay.
I'm going to give it 3 or 4 minutes to make sure he's managed to get away. Go up to the door, listen, make sure I can't hear anything. Then I'll go, I think he's gone.
And then open the door.
Tell me
she
that
can open the
Lieutenant
door and
laughs
we'll
at him.
go into the captain's cabin.
Okay, as she opens the door, you can hear a faint hum in the distance. And some music playing quietly.
In the distance.
Yeah.
You
You can see a bit of a red glow down the corridor, and that's all you can see.
Okay, as long as it doesn't come closer, I'm happy with that.
Mike is now the background music.
Hey, as long as people are humming it and we're not actually playing it, we don't breach copyright. Homage and not stealing.
Yes.
That was a tube that I had on the thing just there. It didn't fall down that way, did it?
May have fallen into the pocket.
If it didn't, then I'm sitting on it somewhere and I'm doomed. Oh, found it. Awesome.
Doors opening that I haven't opened?
Doors don't seem to be opening, but there seems to be a couple of breaches.
Okay. I radio Thayer and Gar. I radio everybody and say, the doors aren't opening. I think he's cutting through them.
Easier for us to access everything.
Yeah, he's got a lightsaber. It's really scary, it's red.
At this point, I am going to openly take up both my lightsabers.
Mm-hmm. You think you've probably got about an hour or two till he reaches you?
Okay. We should get these guys out now while we can.
Absolutely, I think move with haste
So,
and try to get our good friends out who are going to become our good friends because you're going to do the talkie and make them our friends.
Okay.
We'll both do the talkie-talkie.
You find out that
You're supposed to do the talkie.
the spec troopers are in the one of the upper cells as close to the security center as possible. So if anything goes wrong, they can get to them as fast as possible.
Carlin's got that information, I presume. I'll get him to lead the way since he saw the map. Just to specify.
But you're the one who's been given the code word to actually identify who you are.
Yeah, yes, but you can get us to the door. Once we get to the
Yeah.
door, I'll do the talkie-talk.
Okay, as you step into the corridor, you can see that there is an interrogator droid in the corridor.
This is why you get to lead the way until we get there.
This is
You
the
do
way.
The droids. So I was gonna say I'm gonna hang my Shoto off my belt just so it's more easy to get.
Mm.
But I'm not gonna have like 2 lightsabers in 2 hands because I think a free hand. But I'm holding the lightsaber behind my back in case things go wrong with the droid.
Okay, what does Carl need to do?
So this was it just a security droid or a torture droid?
Interrogation.
It's an
droid.
interrogator droid.
Torture grenade.
So it's the floating ball thing.
Yep. The black ball of doom.
I was going to say, don't you have a droid command?
So they call it an it-o.
Oh.
It-O.
Yeah, it-o.
So it's actually written on it.
It is written on it.
It-O. Stand down and do self-diagnostics.
It beeps at you rudely. And you can see it extend multiple syringes. You believe it. You believe it has told you it wants you to sit on this.
Dr. Feelgood.
Okay.
No, sit on these.
Okay, I walk up to it
Casual like.
and cut it in half.
Okay,
Quick drawing the my vibro sword.
as you do so, you'll be making an opposed cool check.
Initiative.
What is your character's cool?
2 yellow, 2 green.
2 yellow, 2 green. Are you rolling, Rhiannon, or am I?
Okay.
You look like you're writing, but I'm happy for you to roll.
Are you going to upgrade your check?
No.
Not. Yeah.
I asked because there's always a possibility.
3 yellow, 2
so
green.
this is roll.
2 yellow.
Yeah.
2 yellow, 2 green.
No, I'm not going to upgrade.
Okay, you're up against 2 red.
But I have you back. Diana's got you back too.
Does fearsome also help
There's
against...
triumph.
Sorry, what?
There is a
There's
triumph.
a triumph.
There's a whole heap of U
Is
shapes.
there any disputes?
No.
Okay, so you've got 1, 2, 3. So you got a triumph, but you got more successes. So technically, it gets to go first, but it probably doesn't get a decent thing off, as it's asking you for your operating number. So it beats you on initiative, but it doesn't attack.
Interesting outcome.
Technically, he failed to go first, but he got a triumph.
Triumph.
So the triumph is it's not attacking. It's
Yeah.
asking for his operating number.
That's what I mean. It's an interesting outcome.
That's what I like about these days.
Well, it makes me feel slightly better about not rolling a great success.
Yeah, you got a triumph. So.
Okay, so it's 1, 2, 3, FU. Cut it in half.
Okay, so that would be your melee, which is making sure I'm on colored.
I'll use quick draw, then quick strike.
So that is 3 yellow, 2 green, no quick strike because it has actually acted.
Oh.
It beat you on initiative, so you don't get the.
No, I was wrong.
It's a nice idea, just unfortunately you managed to get in there first.
So these, the user upgrades, yeah?
The U's are advantages.
They're advantages.
So he didn't succeed, but he got a triumph. But the droid, so he got fails instead.
Yes, he got net fails, so in an opposed check, the fails are the opponent's successes.
Okay, cool. So I'm just trying to learn how to read these.
Is there a correct name for the advantage symbol? Like, is it like the rebel?
It's basically a wreath, is basically what it actually
Okay.
is. But it's considered a, the word for it in the game is advantage, unfortunately. It doesn't have much
Okay.
more than that.
Yeah. That's
So 3 yellow, 2 green?
3 yellow,
yep.
2 green. There's nothing else that applies at this stage.
Difficulty is.
The difficulty will be, because it's melee, is 2 purple. Checking to see if it has anything else. Nothing else applies, only 2 purple.
Okay, so starbursts are successes.
Yep.
And successes knock out triangles.
Yep.
So that gives 1 success, 3 advantages.
Okay. And because you are using your vibro sword, it has a crit range of 2. You can simply apply 2 to hit the creature, and as it turns out to be a rival, it's a one-hit wonder. No damage needs to be applied, it just needs to get past its soak.
Yep.
So KO?
KO.
Because they also, the calculating the amount of damage I do to it's ridiculous.
It is sliced in half.
If you're gonna use the term KO, you should say it in Mortal Kombat terms. KO.
That would be fatality.
Fatality!
Oh, well,
Or,
Ayana looks at Carlin and says, "Was that necessary?"
Boring conversation.
behind
Who
Carlin,
talks to them all the time?
Carlin says yes. Sorry, Thea says yes.
Yes, but I have a very dislike with interrogation droids.
Look, I know that my method of just hit things to make them work usually works out, but I don't know if this is necessary in this case.
Let's go to the go and rescue
Let's get going.
stormtroopers.
I was gonna say,
Oh no, they're not stormtroopers. The commandos.
while you're saying this though, Thea will express surprise that Kyana is remarking upon. I'm like, he's just following your example. He hit it, and now it is no longer an obstacle.
I don't know if it was much of an obstacle to begin with.
Well, I would argue that if an interrogation droid manages to get to you, you're in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, but we're the authority moving through with authority with the command codes on authority.
What's the opposite to triumph?
I'm pretty sure the droid
opposite
didn't
to
really
triumph
care
is
much for
despair.
authority.
The droid would listen to us because we have the correct codes that we took from the other guys. Anyway, let's go get those guys.
I have a
Just
feeling
take that
it
and
wasn't
have a look.
listening to
It's
us.
just trying to get.
Is that
familiar
right,
with them.
Khaled?
So that top section is all the dice.
Sweet.
With the command code things, we need to plug it in. I don't think we can. It actually states what the command is.
To be fair,
Correct.
I would not want to get close to interrogation droid to plug a command in.
So a command code is basically the equivalent of like a pass key, and you swipe it. It gives you authorization if you have authorization.
But with this droid, if we're to stick one of those commands,
You know, it was asking for a password.
It basically was asking for a
the
password.
password. Did we have the passwords?
You
Yeah,
did,
you know, just cut it in half.
but you didn't actually get told which one was for what. You were just given you were given over 10 passwords
Right.
as people ran out with their leaving behind their security codes.
And you do have
Right.
the code to get to the in the information you got. You do have the code to get to the spec forces, but that wouldn't have shut down the interrogation.
That wouldn't have shut down. Okay.
So you can basically punch in the code or use one of the cylinders if it's appropriate.
Do we have the list of the passwords that they shouted out?
Carly does.
Okay. Look,
Yeah.
let's try the top password next time before we cut down the droid. Just taking a page out of Clowner's book. Because I gather as we move through, we may encounter more.
So how many torture droids do we need to go through to get to the
You believe
There's
there is
just one.
one on every
There's just
level.
one per level.
But Garm will have to get to the slaves later, and so we will have to deal with other interrogation droids as we go through this.
You'll have to deal
level
with the
at
other
some
three
point.
because the slaves are each on
Yeah.
each level.
We'll wait for Garm for that, but I'm just thinking, as a future lesson, we might try the passwords before we cut up the droids.
Okay, so you reach the cell block and have no problems putting in the code.
Yep, so I use the correct code.
Mm-hmm.
Door opens.
Door opens and you do recognize that this is the Spec Force team that got captured. They all are still wearing their insignias on their jackets, indicating that they're basically a ex-military commando squad.
Do we know, like, are they rebel spec forces? I thought they were specific.
They're rebels.
They're Alliance Spec Forces. Basically, they are a group of infiltrators that used to work for the Empire and changed sides somewhere along the way.
Considering this is my task, I'll step forward and I'll say, soldiers, we've been sent by the Alliance to rescue you. We are in the middle of trying to take over this ship. So as part of that rescue, unfortunately, the condition is that you help us take over the ship so that we can get you home.
Okay. Yes, sir. Just let us at them. Just tell us what you want done, and we'll get it done.
There are friendlies on board, so don't mass kill. How do I identify friendlies? Anyone not an Imperial? No, wait a minute, we're an Imperial uniform.
Well, at the moment.
Oh, you're not anymore. The only one is Garm and the lieutenant.
Okay. So there's two of our people undercover in Imperial uniforms. And that'll be.
Well, the lieutenant, we don't know if she's undercover.
I'm going to describe them as undercover to simplify this rather than to explain that we don't know yet. She seems to be helping us. She's intelligent, etc., etc.
Do you need any officers captured? Any crew contained?
I want to warn you that there is an Inquisitor on board. And
Do you need an Inquisitor destroyed?
I am going to deal with the Inquisitor.
Okay, you hear a big relief of sigh from the entire group.
Please do not get in the way of me and the Inquisitor. For you will only be fodder for the Inquisitor. I am going to let. Is it okay for me now to hand on authority? Because I'm probably going to be fighting an Inquisitor soon, so I won't necessarily be able to give commands.
Well, you can basically keep tell them to keep checking in with you as they're doing stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Button.
Yeah.
Does this vessel have an armory?
Yes, it does. Garm's there right now.
I think he means.
No. I meant the shuttle thing.
The container. The only weapons were with the troopers because it is a prison, and the prison will not have an armory anywhere near a person that is not a trooper.
Yeah. So keep checking in with myself, Kayana here, or Khalid. And if I can't answer because I'm busy fighting a space visit, in the meantime, is it personnel that's our next top priority?
This is personnel. The Spec Troopers is personnel.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's the case, then if I was going to send them towards a specific task, do you guys have anything that you want secured particularly?
I will pipe up in particular at this point.
Yep.
You were looking at having the engineers start taking the transponder offline once you entered hyperspace, and you've just done so.
Basically protect the engineers.
No, the transponders are still online, but you've just entered hyperspace. So you might want to send them to assist the engineers.
Go to assist the engineers in getting the transponder offline so that we can't be traced.
And also remind them that the engineers are also rebels.
And all of the engineers are on our side. No killy the engineers.
They go, yes sir, and they start scavenging for pieces that they can use as weapons. One of them rips some of the needles off the droid on the way past.
Just quickly,
yeah.
how are they going to keep in touch with you?
Are there comms in the area where the 10 troopers were?
No, but the troopers all have comms.
Okay.
Won't take them long to get to the troopers.
If you go past the security station, there'll be 10 security troopers in there. They'll have a lot more gear for you to use.
They won't get through there until you tell me.
I will then also update Min. Is it Min?
Min, yes.
Min, and I'll also update Garm that I've released the special forces, and I've told them not to harm that you're in Imperial cover.
Yes, they should not harm you.
And not harm you or the lieutenant that's with you at the moment.
Sure.
Unless you
Give the lieutenant a thumbs up. I'm hoping she can't hear. That's like I've got the earpiece.
and I've set them to go assist the engineers in disabling the transponder.
Who's the best shot here?
The security station so that they can get communication.
All the Spec Force people put their hands up saying they're all excellent shots.
Okay, out of you, which is the better one?
They look between them and go, well, he makes one more shot out of 100 than the rest of us.
Okay. I'm going to loan him my blaster carbine. And then I convert my blaster pistol into a rifle.
I would get a name, so... Name of this guy, Khaled?
Leroy.
No.
Leroy Jenkins.
I don't know that that's a good thing, because Martin may get inspired by that.
Well, he's a combat nut, of course.
I'm hoping that he doesn't.
Oh, it's either that or I can think of the guy from Tremors.
Well, look at these guys as the assassins of the rebellion. The Spec Force infiltrators are the sneaky rebels. They're the people who you only find out they're rebels when someone's checked to see if you've got stubble. If you've got stubble, you live. If you don't have stubble, you die.
Okay. In that case, I'm going to rip something off from 40k. I'll call him Sly.
That sounds more...
And if you're if you're male and you don't have stubble, that's when they kill you.
Because you're too clean cut.
It's an Imperial thing that Imperials have to be clean cut at all time.
My character's clean cut.
Yeah, but you're pretending to be an Imperial and you're being described as undercover. Hopefully they have enough neurons to synapse that.
So the story of them in the rebellion is that the only time you know they're there is when they're checking for stubble, with a knife at your throat. That's their reputation. Okay.
Cool. Can I... Once I've been alerted, I'm watching the cameras and opening the doors as that they need as they move. And then shutting after them.
Brum Brum with you?
Yep.
Yes.
Okay.
Brum Brum's flying.
That's probably a good thing. We won't crash.
Brum Brum's piloting us.
Well, I don't know. His name's Brum Brum Crash. I'm hoping that's an irony.
You're expecting to be in hyperspace for 10 to 30 minutes because basically anything more than that and you may reach a destination you're not choosing.
We need that transponder down.
And I can't do anything to help with the transponder down?
No, because it is hardware, not software.
Which would be fine if I was there.
Okay, so...
So yeah, I'm watching and allowing them through.
As you're looking onto the cameras, you get an occasional red glow appear on monitors. And some of the monitors are picking up music playing.
Okay, I'm using that and telling people where I see those things.
I think we might reposition to an area where I've got the advantage in the fight.
You may also go with the Spec Forces to take out the troopers so that they have weapons and gear.
Okay,
Yes.
we'll do that. I figure the evil space wizard will find me wherever I am.
And that would also put you in path of the Space Wizard if he reaches you.
Okay.
Okay, and with you already having dominance over these guys, I'm sure you can get them to drop their weapons without any real threat.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we can.
Especially if you draw a blade and activate a blade while they're looking at you. But you wouldn't do that.
I'm not going to do that just yet.
That's for later.
I leave the blade for when it's absolutely necessary.
Okay, so they're more than the infiltrators gear up and pretty much use the handcuffs of the troopers on them.
Oh, these troopers are still alive.
That's it. You know, these guys might convert to our side. So.
Did the troopers respond to the fact that the doors have been shut and they've been trapped here?
They're looking a little afraid.
Are there other missions people are supposed to be doing right now that we could be doing?
As long as the cargo crate doesn't get touched
Yeah.
and nobody in the personnel gets killed, yeah, I'm good.
Yeah.
Slaves and cargo are mine.
Mine is, well, the sabotage is going well as long as we succeed. The other one is some top secret tech somewhere.
What about Brum Skulls and...
Brum Brums will be fine as long as the cargo containers are lit.
Yeah.
Hang
He
on.
doesn't have to actively go.
Oh, but
He
you
needs
cannot
to
search
get
it.
into the cargo container. Both of his ones are about the cargo.
Do we consider my gaining the captain's
Tat is his
information
second.
complete?
No, because you didn't get all of it. You can always get more.
We might be able to send you back to the captain's room.
I think I have to stay with you until you fight the Inquisitor.
Yes. I mean, at one point, we might be able
Yeah.
to do that. I just don't want to lose track of everybody else's
So
stuff.
it's captain's quarters for the info.
Yeah.
Everything else is either in the prison, is the slaves, in the passenger, or in the cargo.
Alright.
Whereas Kayana gets bonuses for every encounter that you overwhelm the opponent without firing a shot.
So she's got a few of those already.
Yeah.
Not shooting is the combat superiority aspect of this story.
Is it
Okay, so
worded
cutting a droid in
specifically?
half, is that classed as combat superiority? 'Cause I
No.
didn't shoot.
I was going to ask exactly the same question as Kesley and Ross, which is
Yeah, is
because
it-
he used his sword on the droid, I think that's going to be the question. Does
Because I
it?
did mark that I have my vibro sword.
Well, the thing is, it says, with skill and thoughtful preparation, much of the mission can be accomplished without firing a single shot. So that's more without attacking.
Okay, well, so
The
that-
intention
okay.
is attacking. Despite this, direct confrontation with Imperial force is almost unavoidable. It's like, you still won the confrontation, but the idea is you're supposed to plan not to need it.
yeah.
He-
Well,
But we did get through the other droids.
That's why Kayana was pointing out, did you really have to get that droid?
Which is very fitting with the combat superiority.
Yeah. Well, and why we using the password or trying to use passwords will help. I think Carla should comms those passwords to Gar. So that if he ends up in getting the slaves at some point and he's not with Carla, he's got the passwords.
The slaves will be basically lost.
Probably, but
You don't want to let them out when
you
there's
don't want to
danger.
forget those passwords.
So explicitly, I'm after a top secret device, which could be a scientist, a card,
An Inquisitor.
In the personnel container is probably what you will.
it's either in the personnel or the cargo container.
Which means Brum Brum Crash's one could also be a separate tech as well. Or a blueprint or a tech itself.
Brum Brums is acquire starship parts in the cargo pod.
Yep.
Khalid is the intelligence officer, which we think is probably in the passenger personnel, and internal security is the rebel trader. Gum is trooper gear in the cargo pod,
Yep.
slaves on the ship, plus convert more, maybe? Lieutenant
Well,
seems good.
Converted the lieutenant. If she's not already one already.
Kayana is the captain's intelligence, or any intelligence from the ship, and combat victory, and Thea is pretty much done. As
Yeah.
long as we succeed.
Theirs is to help everyone achieve theirs.
Yeah.
That's why I don't want to lose track of everyone's goals.
This is why I have
It's
them
not
written down.
because I'm team oriented and not selfish at all. I just want to make sure that I achieve my goal.
This is, I have tick boxes. I'm ticking things off as we go.
Alright,
It's also how often you achieve it is extra bonus.
we'll head to the engineers because I think getting that.
Okay, so the spec forces, once they grab the stuff, take the skiff, and with the comms start sending door numbers to the bridge.
The bridge is opening the doors before they get sent, but
Well, they sound very efficient.
excellent. I try to be more so.
It sounds like bingo. 67.
Lane's 11!
Yep, lane's 11.
The 6 comes out and the door's already opening.
Okay, so most of the troopers, the handcuffed ones, you're able to escort back in out of trouble, potentially into the same cell they were
I was
guarding.
going to say put them in the spec forces, so
Yeah, that's probably a good idea. I'll comms and say, do you have, Min, do you have any sight of that space visit?
Have I seen a flash recently?
Yeah, he's about probably about 300 meters down the corridor, going at about a meter every 10 minutes.
He seems very ego-driven. The broadcasting system is going. There seems to be some sort of music. He's about 300 meters away. Maybe 10 minutes.
Okay. I'll keep that in mind as we work our way through our tasks. If the spec forces are helping the engineers with the transponder, can we divert to one of the other missions?
You can.
Yep.
The other missions are between you and the Inquisitor.
Yep. So what is the next mission closest to us?
The cargo pod.
Okay.
I would be concerned if you leave the Inquisitor to those places that you might damage the stuff we're after.
Well, who's to say I can't drop off the people who need to do those missions there? Oh, I need them in case when I fight them.
Khaled's the only one that's got, and Khaled's are both in the passenger.
Okay.
The cargo crates is Garm, me, Brum Brum.
Okay, well, do we head towards the passenger one anyway, because that means I can hopefully deal with the Inquisitor, not die, and then we can do the passenger one next and then do the cargo.
Is there anywhere else I can see that would be a good spot for Thea?
Well, the passageway is a big reinforced passageway because it's the main connector of the ship. Meaning if they hit the walls, they're not going to, no matter how far they push their blades, it's not going to go outside.
Is there anywhere that would give her advantage?
Yeah.
Technically, no, not without risking one of the containers or personnel.
So there's nowhere where she could get the high ground.
No high ground. Unless, of course, she stands on Khalid's shoulders or Kayana's
Do
shoulders.
any of you have
Or what about the skin?
people concussion
Wait,
grenades?
hold on. What if it's Thea on top of my shoulders while I'm on top of Carla's shoulders in the hallway?
In a trench coat.
I was going to say, do we have a trench coat?
No trench coat. But the skiff is already headed towards the engines.
I have stun grenades.
Yeah.
You have time to set up a booby trap,
So,
but stay in the passageway because that's the best way to avoid damaging anything else.
Setting up the stun grenades. Who's got the ability to help me with setting up a...
So the stun grenades are light ranged.
Okay. I can't remember what my light ranged is. I really gotta...
I can pull people up if you want.
If you could dig up my sheet, that would be helpful, because mine's
I have the good
disappeared.
score in that.
Your
I
light
have one
range
of the
is
good
2
scores.
yellow.
2 yellow. And is there anyone else that's got good light range, coloured and...
I'm 3 yellow, 1 green.
So that would be Kayana.
Yeah, you're a lot better than I am with that.
And if I have quick strike ×2, does that count for these booby traps?
It can.
So I'll explain to Kayana I want to set up a stun grenade trap for this to hit this guy before he comes to us. Can you do that?
I've also got a stun grenade.
How many stun grenades would you need? I believe I've got 2.
With the size of the corridor,
Might
like what sort of area is a stun grenade?
The stun grenade is basically something that will hit a small area. So it would hit a group of stormtroopers, but it wouldn't go much further than that.
So you'd want them evenly spaced across the floor?
Yeah. If we're aiming at one guy, evenly spacing it might hit him 3 times.
But how many stun grenades would you need to have an entire...
Actually, if we...
Probably
if
about
we
2 or 3.
Space it out, that may not be a good idea, because once he gets hit by one stun grenade, unless we space it out so he's going to stumble into the next one and get hit by that, and then into the next one, it might be better to group them so he gets stunned big overall.
You
The
don't
problem
get-
is you don't know where he's going to be.
And you also don't get an
yes.
overlap when grenades overlap.
Okay, alright.
Sorry, what?
If you have 2 grenades and they share an area of effect, they only get affected once.
Okay, alright.
It's a rule thing to stop characters getting killed.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
We can do that.
That's why I
What
was
we could
suggesting-
do is, once he gets stunned, we could throw up stun grenades at him.
Yeah, that's another point. Anyway, I've got 2 at least,
So 2 or 3 across the floor.
and Carla's got 1.
So do we want to say 3 across the floor?
Did Kayana get any stun grenades?
I have normal grenades.
But you didn't pack any stun when we were doing. Oh no, you weren't here when we were working at our.
Nope.
Our stuff.
Well, soon you'll have a bigger chunk of gear to deal from, especially once you finish the adventure.
So the 3 stun grenades on the floor. With the reinforced sides, you can probably throw like frag grenades and stuff. So having those grenades on hand is not a bad idea.
Okay, so on the bridge you see that...
Does Carla need to roll?
Not at this stage.
Set up? Okay.
Kayana.
No, I'm not setting up
Oh,
because
no,
I'm not that great.
Well, it is, what's it, 3 yellow.
Yeah, mine's 1 yellow, 1 green.
Yeah, Kayana's 3 yellow, 1 green, 1 black.
Plus 2 blue.
Plus 2 blue.
The black is for the slightly faulty arm.
So Kayana's the best setup for it. Just writing notes in case we're coming back to it.
And so on the bridge you see...
who's this?
This is Min and Brum Brum. You see yourself dropping out of hyperspace.
So 15 minutes is up.
It's been a intense 15 minutes of...
Yes.
But the transponder's still up.
And you can see that the transponders are activated to say something's wrong.
So we need
Is that
to
what we
try and
wanted, or?
get the transponder down.
No.
And you're getting a comm from the engineers. They're on it now, taking the engines offline to deal with the transponder. Because it's wired into the engines.
I give them a heads up that the spec forces are coming to help.
Yeah, they could use the assistance. And then in the corridor in front of their Khalid and Kayana, they see 2 red lines cutting in different directions into the blast doors in front of them.
Lines. Okay. Yeah, good thing I got a second lightsaber. Carla, do you have your slug thrower with you?
Have what?
Your rifle that throws actual bullets, not blaster.
Yeah, my shotgun. Yeah, I've got that
Yeah.
ready.
You want to set up behind me, with cover, to try and shoot at this guy.
I thought there wasn't any cover.
If there is opportunity.
She was suggesting using Thea as cover.
Yeah, no.
And if you
That
hear
ain't,
a
that's not gonna work.
No, you shoot either on like, I presume I don't take up the entire corridor, even though it's not a wide corridor. I presume there's going to be space.
It would be about 2 to 3 meters wide.
It might be good to
Yeah,
slow
I'll
him
be
down.
off the side just in case he throws the bloody door forward.
And that will mean that if there's an opportunity.
And then there's a
you're
loud thump while you're discussing that
Yeah.
as the door falls in.
So I'm hoping you set up.
What music do they hear?
They start hearing a sounds like some sort of rock ballad going.
I'll,
To the jungle.
I would say, like, as soon as the door goes and he is visible, that's when Kayana makes the stun grenades go.
And while he's on the other side of it, he hasn't walked through.
we'll
And-
I'm waiting for look.
And in the smoke from the doors falling, you see 4 blades extend.
4. Nice.
What?
As at that point, we go to credits.
Oh, okay. And
It's Grievous.
there's time. There's time, right? We could go back to the captain's cabin. No. 4 blades. Huh?
We don't know what Garm is doing.
Do I think
Poor
it's a-
Garm.
Yeah. Do we know what Garm's doing?
Well, Garm. So okay, we can go back to Garm for a little bit then. Okay, so yes, after that, you see that you head to the captain's cabin.
Yes.
You can see that the door has been cut open.
Expected.
And the room is trashed.
Okay.
Everything seems to have been ransacked and thrown all over the place like a child having a temper tantrum.
I'd say it was Kylo Ren, except it's the wrong time, and he can't do full lightsabers.
So, with my... I don't know if you've got sort of sense motive or anything like that kind of skill, but does the condition of the room sort of suggest to my character that this evil space wizard didn't find whatever it was they were looking for?
Or they made sure they destroyed what was here.
Just for shits and giggles, I'll look in the bathroom.
Okay,
Is the captain alive?
in the bathroom you can see 3 parts of the captain.
Well, as I come up to the
At least he
door,
was
open the door,
unconscious.
there's a smell of burnt flesh. No, okay.
I hope this means that Hyana still has some way of completing it.
So yeah, character goes, captain's dead, Space Wizard killed him, and the captain's quarters have been ransacked.
And in the same time you hear this bang and music kick off and the sound of lightsabers igniting.
Through the comms.
Shit. Okay.
Drop comms.
Well, now you know where not to go.
Yeah.
Back to the bridge. Back to the
Back
bridge.
to the bridge where it's safe. So
And yes,
I'll ask.
Just remember to
Ma'am,
knock.
Where do you want to go now?
she looks white.
It sounds like the
She thought the main problem was the captain.
Inquisitors currently fighting my companions. Perhaps going to the bridge would be the safer option.
Maybe we can just open all the airlocks in Space Imp.
But that would space
That
us
would
too.
be a last.
She's assuming anyone else is alive by the time you reach the bridge.
I believe. Well, they're Mandalorians. I believe they'll still be alive, but they might not stay that way. But yes, last ditch effort. I absolutely agree with you, man.
End credits.
And go to end credits.
Remember to knock.
Bing bong.
I'm just going to say right now, I wouldn't remember. My character's got so many other things on his mind.
If Min sees you approaching, she will say, "Remember to knock."
Oh, yeah, okay.
But if you can see
I would have remembered, I don't know what you're talking about.
if she can see it approaching, wouldn't she?
Yeah, but just in case the cameras go down, because cameras have been doing that lately.
Because someone keeps cutting them down.
And we have been updating each other regularly, so he might update you that he's heading back. Maybe.
Well, I probably see it, but
When you tell me that, my character gets a bit defensive. He goes, oh, I would have remembered, but, you know, thanks for telling me anyway.
You all get defenses like that sometimes.
Okay, so end credits it is.
Yep. Another one bites the dust when I shoot him.